Yeah. Give me breadstick money, yeah. Yeah. Give me that breadstick money, honey. Breadstick money, yeah. Yeah. Unlimited supply coming at you on the fly. With that goopy super cash making them cry. We're taking all our honeys to Olive Garden, spreading breadstick money like fire in the oven. Give me that never-ending salad, amount of strong ink. Can't get enough since it's raining only money. $1.99 times 100 fat stacks. Hanging on the mic, spitting mad facts, making jokers mad cause they never got a laugh. Cracking people's sides, making lions take a bath. On the mic daily and nightly, holding it tightly, poking the mighty plane in our T-Go teeth. Registering and pocket seeing the subscribers' opinion, we just see it screaming. Give me breadstick money, yeah. That goofy cash, honey, yeah. Give me breadstick money, yeah. That goofy cash, honey, yeah. With a pond skunk posse swimming around, diving deep for the truth that's buried underground. Short, skinny jeans, latte in the blender. Swiping through the news, it's so fake, call it pretender. Reddit bros blowing journals out the water, bringing big news like some Upper East Enders. No rolls, no pens, no Lambo budget. £2 does it for the breadstick money, yeah. Give me that goofy cash, honey, yeah. Breadstick money, yeah. Give me that goofy cash, honey, yeah. Breadstick money, yeah. Yeah. Give me breadstick money, yeah. That goofy cash, honey, yeah. Give me breadstick money, yeah. That goofy cash, honey, yeah. With a blonde scum posse swimming around, diving deep for the truth that's buried underground. Short, skinny jeans, latte in the blender. Swiping through the news, it's so fake, call it pretender. Reddit bros blowing journals out the water, bringing big news like some Upper East Enders. No rolls, no pens, no Lambo budget. £2 does it for the breadstick money, yeah. Give me that goofy cash, honey, yeah. Breadstick money, yeah. Give me that goofy cash, honey, yeah. Breadstick money, yeah. Yeah. Give me breadstick money, yeah. That goofy cash, honey, yeah. Give me breadstick money, yeah. That goofy cash, honey, yeah.
So I try to tell you silence not a game. I texted and called you, but still you won't explain. I really need you to love me with your strength and night. Even a week will do, you should know it feels so right. Having the babies, if I don't hear back from you tonight. There are no ladies who can say they are this tight. Having the babies, if I don't hear back from you tonight. Never felt this way about anyone before. Well, maybe that's not true, there were 2 or 3 more, but no one would sign this thing, so it's all now up to you. It's not gonna hurt at all, just a solid week or 2. Having the babies, if I don't hear back from you tonight. There are no ladies who can say they are You and me have a real friend lover vibe. Oh, having the babies. If I don't hear back from you tonight. Oh, oh, oh. There are the ladies who can say they are this tight. Oh, 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 oh. Having the babies. If I don't hear back from you tonight. Oh, oh, oh. If you sign it, I will take the kiss today. Twin flames will get doused and go away. Let me in, I wanna be one of your tribe. You and me have a real friend lover vibe. Oh, having the babies. If I don't hear back from you tonight. Oh, oh, oh. There are the ladies who can say they are this tight. Oh, 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 oh. Having the babies. If I don't hear back from you tonight.
Okay. Can you hear me now? How are we fixed now? I think it should be good now. I'm waiting for the chat to tell me they can hear me. Sorry about that. I had the computer on sleep mode and it shut down my my voice mod. That's all. I had to restart voice mod. Okay. What a weekend. Okay. I did get a lot of messages from you guys. You were like, are you okay? How come you haven't streamed? All I did was take off Friday. You guys know I don't stream on Saturday and Sunday, right? I hardly ever stream on the weekend. So if you don't see me streaming on the weekend, everything is actually fine. So anyway, but this weekend was so crazy. And so was today because, and I was telling Jeff this, I was texting him over the weekend because we were thinking about doing a truck simulating driving with Megan stream. And he's like, when are we doing this? And I'm like, I don't know. I can't get out of bed. So I was sleeping, sleeping all day. I got up twice to fix food for kids and then went back to bed. And like the teenagers were in charge. So I was sleeping all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And I can't believe that I didn't realize, oh my God, take some allergy meds. That's your problem. Your problem is it's a really bad allergy season and you didn't take any Allegra. So this morning when I couldn't get out of bed, I was like, okay, it's Monday. I have to get out of bed. And you have a bad headache. So go take some headache pills and maybe I'll take an Allegra just in case because I was sneezing. Sure enough, an hour later, I'm like, oh, I feel alive again. Holy crap. So I just suffered all weekend long thinking I was in a deep depression when it wasn't depression. It was just allergies. I just realized I forgot to tell locals that I am live. So let me go and share this stream over on locals, meganfox.locals.com. If you are not a member over there, we have fun over there. It is a lot of fun. And you guys, the last membership drive I did was really successful. I got a whole bunch of new members. Welcome to all of you new members on locals. I love to have you. I love to have you in the live chats. I need to set up a live chat today. Live now. Get in here. Paste. All right. Make sure I notify all members, pin to newsfeed, and publish. All right. And I need to start a live chat for today on locals as well. Monday live chat. So the live chats go every day, and that's where you guys can hang out with each other, send each other memes. I'm in there most of the time as well. No time for a photo today. Just get in here. All right, we are going to talk about all the weird late night texting that David Gingras has been doing today, over the weekend and stuff. Like, these people just they won't let up. They won't let this story die. And this is what's crazy. I have been covering another story, another case pretty regularly now, since the trial of Laura Owens, where she was found to be, have committed perjury, have doctored evidence, and was referred to the prosecution, referred to the county attorney for prosecution. Ever since then, I've been really, concentrating on these other cases that I have going on. But David Gingras keeps dragging us back in. If he would just shut his mouth, nobody would be reporting on this. Like, no one. And yet he allows his client to do I haven't even covered the second autism medium post, you guys. I haven't even done it because, for one, I have not been, I already covered the first one. And I think it's her ploy for attention. She just loves the attention. And I don't really want to give her the attention. But her attorney keeps doing things to keep her in the news, which I find really offensive, because he's also, in the same breath, he's upset that people cover this story. Well, you can't have it both ways, David. You can't have it both ways. You cannot say that, it's terrible that you people are covering this, and then at the same time be upset that people are covering this. I just don't understand it when you're the one causing all the problems. All right, let me see if I can get over to his Twitter page. Omar, the Tilted Lawyer, is going to be joining us as soon as he's done with his meeting, because Omar put out a very nice, way nicer than I would, invitation for David Gingras and his client to go on with the Tilted Lawyer and, tell their side of the story. We're going to play a little bit of a clip from that stream where he announced it. And then I also have emails between Omar and David Gingras that we're going to go over. And I mean, here's Gingras, just going out of his way to, why can't I open Chrome right now? What is the problem? Hold on. I'm having a problem. Hold, please. That I don't need open. Nope, don't need that open either. Okay, why am I logged in? Oh, I see. I see the problem. Okay, I have to log in under my dummy account or I can't see David Gingras because he blocked me. For a guy who says he wants his side of the story out there and he wants help answering all these questions, etc., he sure doesn't want to talk to anyone who questions him at all. And that's really what this is about. So let's go over some of the late night texting. And I don't know if this is drunk tweeting he's doing or what. I mean, considering his history, maybe somebody should care to look into that. But we have, wait, oh, still the wrong one. Hold on. Wrong. I thought I just logged in as somebody else. What the heck happened? There we go. There it is. Let's look at his most recent tweets. Okay, I need to go down to he's going after Lauren. He's going after everybody. And it's really strange. All right, this is about where we were. Okay, so David got real mad at Lauren. Hi, Lauren Nighty. She's in the chat, by the way. David got really mad at Lauren for going over the Medium article that he allowed his client to write, which, if I were her attorney, I wouldn't allow her to do that. Matilda, thanks for the 2. Good evening from the Netherlands. Well, good evening. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Joe, thanks for the 10. Ponscum Queen, Breadstick Money. I wanted to play that because we haven't played it in a long time. For those of you who don't understand Breadstick Money or why that song is funny, if you're just catching up on this story, it's because David Gingras months ago accused us all of only telling this story because we want our breadstick money. And I found that so funny that I wrote a breadstick money theme song. And frankly, I love it. Sarah Adams, thanks for the 2. Thanks for including the West Coast. Yeah, well, today you get your wish. I'm definitely streaming later. Oh, I was going to tell you why I was so late today. So I had all these terrible allergy problems, and I finally figured it out this morning. Then I get a call right before I go live. I was supposed to go live at 12:30 from the school, from Hangry's school, and he's doing terribly. They say his eyes are itching. He's gone through an entire box of Kleenex, and he's really miserable. And so I decided to take his medication to him, some allergy meds. Then I took one look at him, and I was like, buddy, we're going home. You don't look good. I mean, his eyes are really red, and he can't concentrate. So anyway, I had to go pick him up, and that's why I was so late. But I got him all tucked in with some hot tea, and he's going to take a nap, and he's got his medicine, so he'll be okay. But in the meantime, sorry I was late, but we're having a very bad struggle here with the allergies right now. It's just terrible. All right, so Gingras got mad at Lauren for reading the article that his client put out there. And his client thinks that she can say, no one can read her article because it's a copyright violation. I can't believe I haven't even got to this. It's so funny. No, you cannot copyright your article, and that means no one can read it. You wrote it so people could read it. You don't, someone cannot republish it in its full form without giving credit and then also like commenting on it, right? That's fair use. But if you're talking about reading an article on YouTube, you're transforming it into something else. You're transforming it into a work, even if you don't change it at all. I have read articles on YouTube, specifically one that you should go and check out. It's a Rolling Stone article. It's an in-depth article about Johnny Depp. This Rolling Stone reporter went and stayed with him in France and then wrote this like 7-page magazine article. And I read it in its entirety without commenting on it on YouTube. That changes the content. That is not a copyright violation to read an article on YouTube. For one, there is no audio version of it. And so if you're creating one, that's your creation. Obviously, you're giving, you put the link to the article in the description, etc., so they can find it. And that's it. Hey, Jim Schuler, you're not going to troll me today. So if you have anything positive to add, please do. But other than that, I'll just get rid of you. So I'm not in the mood for any snarky, shitty comments. So you're on a timeout. If you want to come back and, later and like just be normal, you can do that. But I'm not in the mood. Don't play with me today. I'm not in the mood. Okay. So they're very angry at Lauren for reading this article online, which makes absolutely no freaking sense at all. All right, I'm trying to get to the beginning of this because who knows what the hell he's talking about. So I think it started here on October 2nd, where he is trying to contact Lauren. And he says, if you think my views are that important, why don't you pick up the phone and call? My number isn't that hard to find, but to help you out. And then he posts his cell phone number. Maybe it's his office number. I don't know. But this guy, it's just nuts. And then he says, FYI, I'm not listening to the live stream anymore. Was on it for a couple minutes, but it wouldn't let me comment since I'm not a subscriber. Well, you could just subscribe and then you could comment. Laura gave me a specific permission to talk to you, but that wouldn't support your narrative. So go ahead and give your one-sided version. By the way, Lauren has no obligation to talk to these people. No one has any obligation to talk to him, especially after the kind of behavior that he has, his threatening behavior, threatening to sue everyone involved, threatening to make Dave homeless. No one actually has to talk to this person. I'm going through it right now with Bruce in the other case. He wants all of us to talk to him as well. Well, I'm not obligated to talk to him. I'm not obligated to talk to a person who's constantly in my inbox threatening to sue me. I actually am not going to talk to someone like that because they're dangerous. And this, Gingras has proven himself to be unhinged. And then at the same time, after going after all of us and threatening to sue us, etc., then he wants us to talk to him. That's not how any of this really works, David. I put out a good faith inquiry to him asking if his client wanted to come on my show and they wanted to talk about this a long time ago. And that was rebuffed, and he doesn't, and so he just determined to tell all sorts of lies about us and what we're doing online. And since then, I don't think he really deserves the platform. But he's basically saying he wants to talk. He's accusing Lauren of gaslighting and being nasty. And he says she could have more info if she chose to speak with me. She's opted not to because I guess the truth does not sell as well. Of course, when I contacted him, there is an entire musical made out of it. And you can see in those emails that he says, don't contact me again. He doesn't want to hear from anybody who actually wants to hold his client accountable to the things that she said and the narrative that she spins. He doesn't really want that. He wants to make it sound like he wants it, but he doesn't, right? He wants to make it sound like he's open to discussing things, but then he will only go on with approved people, whoever those are. Fake Laura Owens, you're back. Thanks for the 5. Thought you logged in as somebody else. I can teach you how to do that flawlessly. Unhung Hero, thanks to the 5 for the Allegra fund. My allergies have been crazy this fall too. Yeah, it's so bad. Fake Laura Owens, thanks to the 5. Uh-oh, not in the mood for snark. What am I going to do now? Well, you are always welcome with your snark. Your snark makes me laugh. The other troll's snark doesn't make me laugh. It just annoys me. Especially because if they're going to question my knowledge of copyright, it's kind of silly because I've been doing this YouTube thing and also been a published journalist for a long time. I know how copyright works. I know what you have to do to transform something into something else so that it's fair use. I certainly have quite a bit of knowledge on that scale as far as copyright goes. And my channel has not been hit for any of that. All the copyright strikes that I've ever received, I've won my, when I, write to them and tell them that they're wrong. Even against the NFL, I won. If you can believe that. I won against the NFL. So I think I know what I'm talking about when I tell you that, what something is copyrighted or not copyrighted. And an article that you write on Medium is copyrighted to the extent that someone else cannot just copy it and paste it and publish it someplace else. You have to actually change it or just use quotes from it. You can't just republish it someplace else. Okay. Omar, I'm going to do my little banner here. Omar versus Gingras SmackDown. Omar should be here soon. All right. Weird, says David, that Lethal Lauren asked me to DM her, given that she blocked my DMs. Gaslighting is real, y'all. And he's posting her direct messages, which I think is really crappy. I've never done that to anybody except media. So if media has ever DM'd me and asked for like interviews or whatever, I will absolutely burn them. It will burn journalists all day long. But to do this to somebody and just put their DMs out there, it's wrong. It's just wrong. Instead of talking to her. And he's also acting like DMs on Twitter are the only way to get a hold of her. Yeah, and I know Lauren's DM was just telling him that he put out his client's info and he should redact it so that she didn't get harassed. They're always complaining that she gets harassed. And again, he's putting out his cell phone number, which I don't really want to dox on here, but it's on Twitter. I mean, he's just put it. Call, text, send love, send hate, whatever. Debate is the greatest sunlight. Truth is found this way. Weird that I support this, but the other side completely, totally, absolutely does not share that view. Well, that's false because I absolutely want to hear from Gingras and from Laura. I would like Laura to take responsibility for the lies that she told. If she had just done that, this would be over. And by the way, this is bait. This is bait. He doesn't really want you to send him hate, or he does, and then he's going to use it against whoever did it and say it's harassment, etc. And debate, there is nothing to debate here. This is the other thing. He wants a debate. There's nothing to debate. There is the lies that Laura told, and there is the truth that came out in court. There is nothing to debate. And I don't know what he thinks he's going to be debating, but there's no debate. He says, I've been quiet about Owens v. Eckert for a while because I'm busy with other things, but since the other side has revived the discussion lately, let me throw this out there. I will debate or answer questions from any JFC crew, anytime, anywhere. Just call, let's do this. Who revived it? Who revived this debate? This story? I'll tell you exactly. Here's what I'm going to do. I got to get over to my channel. I got to look at the videos because you're not going to believe that. This is absurd. He's blaming us for reviving the story, but that is not what happened. That is just not what happened. And I'm going to go to my videos and I'm going to share them with you so that you can see what I was talking about before Laura decided to blame autism for her lies and manipulation, etc. All right, let's see. Let us Let's see if I can zoom in. Are the dates available on here? Does it say dates? Dates would be helpful. Yes, there's the dates. Okay. I'm going to show you my YouTube stuff. Here we go. Here's my studio. Here's my content. Okay. So on September 6th, I did have an Owens stream. It was the FBI footage that just dropped. So that was on September 6th. September 10th, I was doing medical kidnapping. September 10th, I had Tuesday with Tug, and we were talking about the Jeremy Hales, What the Hales case. September 11th, What the Hales case. September 17th, oh, here comes Laura again. As you can see, I was not covering Laura between the 6th. The last stream was on the 6th. Then we had the 10th, 11th, all the way to the 17th before there was another Laura stream. And why was that? Because she created that Medium article. So this is about her blaming autism. And even after that, I went back to the Hales on the 17th, the 21st, or Hales, the 24th, Hales, the 26th, Hales, 26th, Aiden Carney, Turtle Boy, Karen Reed, 27th, What the Hales, again, 30th, What the Hales, October 1st, Maya Kowalski, October 1st, Tuesday with Tug, more Hales, October 2nd, we're back with Laura on the 2nd. And that's because I was a month behind on what I had, and I had the emails. But look at how few live streams. And now today, again, I'm back with more Laura Owens. And why am I back? Because David Gingras has been making an ass of himself on Twitter. That's why. That's why. So the idea that somehow we are reviving this story is absurd. David, you are reviving this story. Your behavior is so absurd and so cringe. I don't know how you don't see it. And of course, he probably does. He knows exactly what he's doing. What I can't figure out is, why is he doing it? What does his client get out of him doing all of this nonsense on Twitter? What does she get out of it? What is what's the word I'm looking for? What is the benefit to his client for him doing this at 3 a.m. or whatever? Thanks to and this is October 2nd again. Thanks to the folks who reached out privately with questions about what Lethal Lauren said tonight. Trust me, I get why Lauren and others won't talk. They love their one-sided version of the truth. This is what liars want. Their version and nothing else, because money. Well, no, not really, David, because here's the thing. A lot of us don't want to talk to you because of how insufferable and also dishonest you are. When you run around saying you're going to take somebody's house and you're going to sue us into oblivion, we don't really want to talk to you. It really doesn't make sense to talk to an attorney who says he's building a case against you. Although I still would talk to him. I probably would talk to him and Laura. I probably would do it. He doesn't want to hear from me though. So I can't email him. He told me not to email him anymore. Remember? For the handful of people who care, Laura and I will plan to do a streaming video soon to explain her side of the story. All we've ever heard was her side of the story. And all we've covered was her side of the story. We've covered every single claim she's made. We've debunked every single claim she's made. We've shown her falsified documents, and then we've shown that they were fake. We've shown every explanation, every timeline that she has put out there, we have examined. We've examined the alleged miscarriage in July. We've examined the alleged miscarriage in October. We've examined the alleged miscarriage in November. We've examined all of her timelines. And none of them make any sense. We've examined all of her evidence, all of her fake sonograms. We have found evidence online, and that all the people who researched, the Redditors, shout out to you guys, the Flock, hay bales, all the people who've made timelines, who've gone into this. We've looked at all of that, and all of it is garbage. And we have looked at her side. Absolutely. And we've read every Medium article that she's written. I just haven't read the last one because it's just more of the same. Oh, God, it's awful. I can't believe he lets her still do it. I mean, it's very damning to her story. So this will include the participation of a JFC rep to be determined. First of all, a Justice for Clayton rep is not a thing that exists. Justice for Clayton is not an organized group of people. It is very unorganized. There's a bunch of different groups. There is no one, including me. I am not a JFC rep. I'm not a Justice for Clayton member. I don't even go on those. I really haven't been on the Reddit page in forever because I'm not really following this anymore. I'm waiting for the county attorney to make her decision on whether to charge or not. And that's when I intend to come back in and continue the story. But he keeps forcing this on us. David, I want to move on. I have other stories I need to cover. I could be doing other things today. I have a lot to get to in all the cases that I'm covering, including Karen Reed. I still haven't gotten to the prosecution's letter, or the letter about the prosecution and the Brady violations in the Turtle Boy case, which is insane. And I'm dying to read that. But you keep taking me off my game. You keep taking me off another story and pulling me back in here. And then you try to blame it on us. But you're the one doing this. You're out there doing this on Twitter like a crazy person. I'm over him too. I'm so bored with you, David. We want to move on. And we would like you, we're just not that into you. So we would like you to stop blowing up our phone. Okay? Can you do that for us? Holy crap, Yeah, he's dragging out his 15 minutes of fame for sure. For sure. Helene T, thanks for the $2 super sticker. I appreciate you. Mary Lankins. How is Chester, Mary? How is Chester doing? How's Martini Tuesdays going? Young David had the audacity to block me on the X. Well, Mary, he does that to everybody. If you ask him a question he can't answer, he blocks you. He blocked me the very first time I answered a question he asked on Twitter, 3 days after he entered the case. Fake Laura Owens, thanks to the 5. Omar will be there soon. Just getting out of my shower. I mean, the shower. Funny. Hold on. Okay. Angel, thanks for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here, chat. SF, thanks for the 5. Gingras is just a master debater and wants to showcase his skills. Oh, God. Fake Laura Owens, thanks for the 5. 10 minutes to Wapner. 10 minutes to Wapner. Qantas has never crashed. Qantas has never crashed. Zach, thanks for the 2. Megan, behave or I'll time you and Rogue Mama out. That's funny, Zach. Yeah, this guy is unbelievable. Okay, so here he says, so there's no JFC rep. So him even saying that there's a JFC rep sounds like a setup to me. There's plenty of YouTube channels that he could go on who have covered this story. I would recommend Dave Neal, frankly. I think Dave Neal knows the case better than anybody. And if David really believes that Dave Neal is this liar and a grifter and all of that, that's his chance to confront him, That's his chance. But I don't think he wants to go on with Dave Neal. He could certainly come on with me, but I don't think he wants to do that either. His client appears to be terrified of me. She avoids me entirely. I haven't even gotten one of those cease and desists. So, they could go on Legal Vices. Legal Vices covered the story. Legal Vices is a show that they could go on. Omar, who we're going to talk to in a little bit, certainly Omar is one of the channels that would be the most objective, I guess you would say. He entered it late. He entered the case late and also has always had like this very objective point of view. I think he's been more than fair. And yet, that's not what he's interested in. So you have to wonder, who is he talking about? And joining us now is Omar from The Tilted Lawyer. Looks like he's not in front of the camera yet. He is here. I'll bring him in as soon as he gets himself in front of the camera. Then he says, and one last thing. Does anybody believe that this is the one last thing? Wait, maybe it starts here. Anyway, my answer to this brilliant question is simple. Woodnick should simply have followed the rules and dropped the case. If he loses the appeal, there's a good chance he ends up paying all of Laura's fees for this mistake, so that's a gamble I wouldn't have taken. What? Is this a joke? And one last thing. Does that mean, or that doesn't mean Laura wouldn't have faced any consequences, assuming she was never pregnant, which I don't believe. There were other options Clayton could have used to get justice. He just didn't pursue those options, and the SOL has now expired. And the statute of limitations has not. Well, I don't know which ones he's talking about. What other options did he have besides holding her accountable in family court? I don't know. So let's go up to the top of this thread, because I guess this is a different thread. So after Lauren, who has now blocked me, did her little show last night, several folks reached out with questions. This person sent several questions, all standard, but then she dropped this bomb on me, which blew my mind because no one has asked me this before. If you were hired by Clayton, how would you have handled this case? Holy crap, what a question. Mean that in a good way. Jesus, I've been asked a lot of questions, but that one takes the cake. First of all, this is exactly how a good lawyer should think. If I was on the other side, how would I proceed? Omar, give me a thumbs up if you're ready. I don't think he can hear me. Omar, can you hear me?
Yes.
You there? Hey, welcome to the program. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a crazy morning.
I know, for me too. We're just going over the, I don't know if this is drunk tweeting or just 3 a.m. tweeting or what it is, but there's some of this that I haven't seen before. And I was just starting this thread where he was asked, how would you have done this case differently if you were representing Clayton? So he says the answer here is incredibly obvious because it's exactly what I told Woodnick at the start. Just follow the damn rules. So what does that mean? Simple. Family Law Rule 26. God, is he obsessed with Rule 26.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically the same as Civil Rule 11, required Woodnick to give Laura a written warning and a chance to drop the case without fear of sanctions. They did! He did! And he keeps on pretending like this did not happen. Omar, do you know that Woodnick did this in a previous filing? So in the filing, I don't remember what filing it was, but in the filing, he said, if this case, here's what we're going to do next. We're going to file a Rule 26, and that serves as notice. That starts the clock ticking for the safe harbor period. And he had, and in the response to David's nonsense, Woodnick actually explained using case law that it counts if you put it in a previous motion. So there is no question here about whether or not he gave her written notice. He did in another filing. He just continues to repeat the same lie over and over again.
Actually, I actually spoke. Are you getting an echo? Is it just me?
I do not have an echo.
I actually spoke to Gingras this morning, and we didn't talk about a lot of the evidentiary stuff, but we did speak academically about Rule 26. The argument that he's trying to make is, the obvious one, the safe harbor provision. But, the Rule 26 motion was dismissed anyway. And then the question became if they substantially complied with a similar Rule 26 motion, if, like you said.
Withdrew it. He withdrew it because he didn't want to fight it in appeals. He just he just didn't want to do it. Because he was threatening, Gingras was threatening to take it to appeal and do all of this shit and then file a bar complaint. And so I think he made the, just the decision to, I'm just going to yank it because there's still, the court can impose its own sanctions. I don't need this.
Right. And so the Rule 26, that's basically his argument. Since it was dismissed, his essential argument is that it's double dipping to then go and ask for attorney fees and costs after a trial, which is a different argument. That's the appellate argument. I understand what he's trying to do and what he's trying to say. It's not as crazy as it seems, but it's a very nuanced legal argument that I'm not sure is going to work.
Well, he says that Woodnick ignored the rule, and that's undisputed. It's not undisputed. It is totally disputed. He didn't ignore the rule. He put the warning for the Rule 26 in a previous motion, which by law, by state precedent in Arizona is perfectly acceptable as written notice.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so it is disputed. He says, in that posture, Woodnick basically screwed himself because he jumped the gun and failed to follow the rules, which is disputed. Again, at that point, he
Yeah.
should have owned his mistake and agreed to drop the case, but he didn't. He carried on despite knowing he failed to follow the rule. But this is not true. From Woodnick's perspective, he didn't do any of this. He says, Mata didn't care about this because reasons, but I care, and I bet you the Court of Appeals will damn sure care. We can't just throw rules out the window because we don't like them, but that happened here, and it should not have. By the way, this is a good time to mention that Mata has been reversed repeatedly by the Court of Appeals, despite only being a judge for a short time. Well, lots of judges are overturned by the Court of Appeals. That doesn't have any bearing on this case or whether she did anything wrong in this case.
Right.
Dave Neal's in the chat. Dave.
What's up,
hey,
Dave?
You're welcome to join us. I will send you an invite in case you want to pop in here. I haven't seen you in so long. If you are not busy and you want to hang out, you are welcome to come in here. We are going to be reading through some emails between Omar and Gingras. And, Omar, you reached out to him.
Yes.
And you did it on a live stream. You also did it on an email, and you said basically like, yeah, you want to talk? Come on my show. Tell me how you approached that.
I was as nice as I could possibly have been. I felt like I was just look, I wasn't trying to be shy about the fact that I've been highly critical of Gingras and the way that he has represented Owens. And I wasn't trying to hide the fact that I've been critical of Laura herself. And I just, look, if you got something to say, then look, these are the parameters. And I thought that they were highly fair. And it was going to be an opportunity for him to do exactly what he said in the tweet. When I think he was talking about Lauren 90 is about, look, the JFC community doesn't want to debate, or they're not interested in the truth. They want this one-sided narrative. It's like, no, I'll get your narrative. Why don't you come on the show? I'll send you questions in advance. And the questions that I'll have.
I couldn't believe that you offered to send him questions in advance. I was like, oh, holy shit, that's unfair.
Well,
questions in advance. Omar, you are way too nice. I would never allow that. But then again, I understand where you're coming from. And frankly, I thought that was quite the offer. To send you questions in advance for an interview, that is like cheating, man. It's like cheating.
I did reserve the right to ask follow-up questions based on his answers.
You did.
But it was basically, look, there's 5 different areas of topic I wanted to talk about. I listed them out all on my Friday live. But it was just like, look, it's not going to be like this unfair gotcha thing, man. I'm not going to try to talk over you. I'm not going to try to make you look like an idiot. If you got a story to tell, I'll let you tell it. I'll let you say all the things that you need to get out. But I want to ask you questions about it. I thought that was pretty fair. It was going to be heavily moderated. It was going to be, all the things, safe. I wasn't expecting Laura to come on the show because of obvious reasons. But to the extent that she was, I wasn't going to ask her about perjury stuff. I really honestly was not interested in the evidentiary issues because I feel like the evidence is pretty one-sided. I spoke with Gingras this morning, actually. So here's what I think happened. I think that I put that out there, and he's been mad at me because I've been posting a lot of negative coverage against him for months now. I mean, not a whole lot, but I've been pretty damning in my critique of how he's handled the case.
It's completely reasonable for other attorneys to have an opinion on how an attorney is representing a client. Yeah. And in this case, you're not the only one who thinks that his involvement in this has been detrimental to his client. Yeah. And I've said that for a very long time. I've said it multiple times in multiple ways that like this was dying down right before trial. And when he entered, he stirred up rage with the way that he behaved and the things that he said. And it got this to a whole other level that it wasn't before.
We actually talked about that a little bit this morning.
I don't know how that was spent. Did you? Yeah. Because that's my biggest question I would have for him. My biggest question, I'll tell you right now, David, here's my biggest question for you. What did you think your client was going to gain by you stirring up the community in the way that you did by being the bull in the china shop approach instead of telling her to lay low, keep your head down?
we didn't get
comment.
and I don't want to divulge like everything that we talked about just out of respect, because he did say that, look, he's not opposed to coming on and doing like a show like that, and which I appreciated. I put up my invitation.
Weird because he responded to you and he said, if I didn't know better, I would think you were dating Clayton. He was very dismissive
He did
of
say
you.
that, yeah.
He said no,
that.
he wasn't going to come on your show. Absolutely not. You're not fair. You're a liar, etc. And to you, frankly, I think we need to read his response to you because it is so obscene. I thought it was so unprofessional. But go ahead.
I was disappointed in his response. Yeah, so I talked to him this morning, and one of the things that he says was, hey, I totally get why people are pissed at me because the way that I write, I come off like a dick. It's like, yeah, to say the least. And like the way that most people have been ingratiated with him is through text, his writing. And it's done quite the job in stirring up vitriol, in this case, against him and Laura. And so, but it is true. Like when you talk to him, he's not as dickish sounding. Like he seems more like a reasonable guy, just like a guy's got opinions, which is usually the case when you speak to anybody on a one-on-one basis. But everything in text is worse. But yeah, those emails are pretty bad. They didn't hurt my feelings or anything.
He has this thing though. I've talked to people who have spoken to him in person, and like they all say, yeah, he's really charming, and we can't figure out why he behaves this way. Oh, look who it is! It's Dave Neal.
What's up, Dave?
Oh my God, it's like a reunion. How's it going?
I've been woken up from my Gingra slumber. How are you?
Good.
He's woken, poked the bear.
I love.
Well, he keeps pulling us back in. We're trying to stop the coverage, and he is refusing to let it go, isn't he?
It's either mental health or he's hired as a chaos agent. But how much is it worth to lose all your integrity? Like, what's the price of that?
Well, those are questions that he's got to answer, man. Like, I think that the biggest confusion with the public with respect to him is like his the way that he's gone about representing Laura into this public fashion. It's done no good. Like there hasn't been any points scored to that regard. Woodnick, whom he doesn't have, there's no love lost between the two of them. But Woodnick has not taken on this public persona and whatever he's done. Like he's taking criticisms from different places, but it's just not published all over the internet. I question like why he has this need of going back and forth on the socials, on his blogs, on his Twitters and all this stuff, and trying to like troll everybody, because that's the way that it comes off. He even acknowledged to me that, hey, I apologize for coming off as a dick. It's just the way that I write. But like if you read the emails, like it's not really all that subtle. It's pretty it's pretty
not,
coarse.
It's not. In fact,
is it the way that he writes when he sends me a 15-page manifesto to try to intimidate me? Is it sorry, it must just be the grammar I used when I threatened to unhouse you and your pregnant wife. This is a man that is a vile piece of shit. And I don't have enemies. I don't understand how it's not worth any amount of money he could possibly be paying to act this way. I can only think it's some sort of weird jealousy, but he's got it against Lauren, Meg. He's Meg's the mega. He has an excuse for everybody. He has an excuse for why he hates everybody. Oh, sorry that I make money calling out, BS when I see it. I'm sorry.
Well, it's very insulting. Like I haven't seen a response from him that didn't seek to insult whoever his target is.
He has what we call sandbox problems. He doesn't get along with others, and he should probably seek therapy for that. And then he gets upset that people don't respond well to him. But it's like, David, you're insufferable. Like you know you're a dick. You know it because you said it to Omar. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I just come off as a dick. You know this. Like, get therapy. Get some play therapy or whatever. Like your parents didn't get you when you were little and you didn't learn how to play well with others. I understand that that's an issue some people face, but you're in a profession where you have to get along with people, and being a lawyer is you're not supposed to take things so personally. You're supposed to be able to get on the phone with the opposing counsel and be like, okay, let's work this out as professionals. This guy doesn't do that. He just can't. It's crazy.
When I've taken things like too personally in the past, it's just to say, oh, so-and-so is jealous. Like that's kind of like too short-sighted. but there's got to be something going on where he's really not happy with where he is in his career. And so like to latch onto these fights and get that dopamine rush from arguing with random strangers online, maybe that's like the sort of the sugar high that he's getting from being a part of all of this. It's like,
maybe
this is part of my career, is like a slice of the pie is my podcast, my YouTube channel. Like this is my arena I've talked about for about a decade now. I didn't jump on this story. So, but it's just, and like I said in my video covering Omar and Lauren and all the hate that Gingras is, exposing, it's just a dick measuring contest. And when you're in one, you get out. This is like stupid. So like, that's why I didn't take the bait to have any further discussion with him, because people like Greg Gillespie took that bait, had a discussion with him, and then it didn't go anywhere. It's like, you just can't, there's no way you could get through to him. He's going to hang on to these 6 pregnancy tests. And like I said in my video today, she could have peed and walked over 1,000 pregnancy tests. They all would have said the same thing, that she had a low level of HCG. It means nothing. What we needed, and what we've always needed and asked for and never received, was a verified by a doctor, a verified pregnancy, whether it was a sonogram, even a fetal Doppler report, some kind of blood test that came from an OBGYN. Not a lab that you go to, that you don't need a doctor for, not any of that. And even that didn't show she was pregnant. It actually showed she was not pregnant. That's what it showed. Yeah, not the fetal DNA. And as I got to go in a second, I just wanted to stop in and say hi. But like the faking a black journalist, the faking doctors, the faking ovarian cancer, like don't be offended if I kind of hold myself to like wanting answers to these questions. Chase J. Jones is a massive fraud on the people. Mm-hmm. I mean, our country is so divided right now, and she would use anything she can, if, from autism to it doesn't matter to her. And so forgive me if that's something we're very interested in. I love you guys. I got the baby I got to go take care of. All right, you go.
All right, Dave, go handle the baby.
But I'm great to see you. I'll keep listening. All right. Take care, guys.
All right. Take care. All right. So let's look at the nice and professional email that you sent to David. You said, "Good morning, David. I hope this message finds you well. I heard you wanted to do a live with a member of the JFC community. I don't know if I would be considered part of that community, but I wanted to invite you on my show to have an objective, intelligent, civil discussion regarding yours and Laura's side of the story. As you know, I'm a practicing attorney. I have no dog in this fight. I've been critical of your legal strategies and Laura, but I also feel that I've been objective, unemotional, and fair in my analysis. What I've never had the opportunity to do, nor anyone else, is talk to you in a civil setting, bringing the two sides together for an intelligent conversation. I'm hoping to do that on my show. I did not catch the entirety of Lauren Knighty's show last night, so I don't know all that was said. I caught the initial 20 minutes where she was reading email communications between you and Gillespie, where I actually thought you were being genuinely fair. I don't know what happened on the rest of the show.
I learned later after the fact what happened. She used the C word a bunch of times to refer to the... There were shenanigans on that show, apparently.
Well, just don't be a C word then, I guess. And maybe people will call you that. These would be my parameters. I want to assure you that this invitation is extended with the utmost respect for your situation. I will not hide the fact that I've been highly critical of both you and Laura. I've also expressed a desire to see Laura find peace. I express concern over her well-being and certainly have my opinions on her legal arguments. I offer the following commitments. 1, respect for legal boundaries. I'm fully aware of the ongoing criminal investigation involving Laura Owens. I pledge not to broach topics related to perjury or any other matter that could be sensitive or detrimental to the case at hand, given her Fifth Amendment rights. 2, our conversation will be rooted in respect. I will not interrupt you, nor will I instigate any form of salacious debate merely for the sake of drama. The goal is to facilitate a respectful and comprehensive dialogue. Transparency and preparedness. All questions will be provided to you in advance, while I reserve the right to ask spontaneous follow-up questions based on your responses. The interview will include a mix of straightforward softball questions, as well as more challenging inquiries. Triple-digit fastballs hide inside. I like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Audience moderation. The live audience will be rigorously moderated. While we welcome audience participation and questions, any form of personal attack against you, Laura Owens, or any related party will result in immediate removal of the offending participant from the live session. Interactive Q&A segment. A portion of the interview will be dedicated to questions from the audience. With an understanding, you have the full right to decline to answer any question without repercussion. Very fair so far. I think overly fair and in his favor.
A little over the top.
Mutual respect. Yeah, mutual respect for differing views. It is natural we may encounter points of disagreement. These moments will be approached with an open mind without judgment of your responses. 8, empathy and understanding. My overarching goal is to foster empathy and understanding among all parties involved and our audience. It's my hope that through open dialogue, we can contribute to a broader healing and understanding, allowing all involved to eventually move forward. It's funny how your job as an attorney sometimes, especially in family court, Omar, is to also play psychologist.
That's like half the job, honestly.
I know. And
it's
like
an enormous part of the job.
Helping, and I can tell by reading this that you're really good at it. Like you're very good at it. You're like, okay, these two sides have a problem, and we really need to find a way so that they can both move on with their lives.
Yeah.
And that's like what you do all day long. Frankly, I think you're the right person to talk about this case because you are a family attorney who has a lot of experience with this type of thing.
Yes.
And yet it's strange to me that we'll get to that.
We'll get to it.
It will occur at a date and time of your choosing, provided it doesn't conflict with my court schedule. Fair, very fair. David, people want to hear from you. They want to hear from Laura, and I believe this platform is the safest it could possibly get within the JFC realm, given our ultimate objectives. I offer a respectful, meaningful space for you to express your side. Let me know what you think. And then you tell him you're going to do it, you're going to talk about this live.
No.
And warm regards, which is better than all the best. So good for you. Know all the best. Now, this is his response. And I have redacted email addresses, even though these are public. It's just in case. Like, I just don't. Laura was copied on this, too.
Yeah.
Omar, a couple of things, says Gingras. 1, Laura is out of town today at a horse show. I've tried to call her, but she isn't available. The decision to talk to you or not is 100% up to her, so I'll let you know if she's interested. Per point number 1, this is Laura's decision, not mine, but I'll be honest. If it was my call, it would be a hard pass, bolded. Not because I'm scared of the discussion, far from it. As I showed the last time you reached out, I spoke to you on the phone and sent polite and professional answers to your questions, which you later claimed were unprofessional. Look, I don't care what side you're on. That's life. It's just that I'm personally opposed to helping dishonest people make money off this case. I can't stomach rewarding bad behavior. Oh my God.
And it's like, at what point was I dishonest? What did I say that was dishonest? I don't remember.
No, you've never been dishonest. I've never been dishonest. Dave's never been dishonest. This is all about Laura's dishonesty.
Yeah.
Everything that we have talked about is about uncovering her dishonesty, her lies, which she has still not taken responsibility for. None. Zero. Zilch. Which, when he says things on Twitter like Laura's taken responsibility, I throw up inside my mouth. No, she's taken none. She admitted to doctoring things, but she has a million excuses why. She didn't take any responsibility for just strictly lying about this pregnancy and other pregnancies.
Right.
That's not taking responsibility. Saying, yes, I doctored it, but it was so that he wouldn't know where I went. Well, I used a fake name. Like, no, she's never taken responsibility for anything in this case. So when he says that, I get grossed out.
There's a ton of behavior on her part that I don't think a reasonable person would not label questionable. At the very least, you have to ask questions about why would you do that? The emails, the tightness emails, the extortion emails.
Oh God, the tight badge. The tight badge.
Yeah, the tight badge.
Email.
Date me, or
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
getting, or I'm not, or if you don't date me, I'm keeping the kid. Yeah,
I'm having the
whatever it was.
babies. If I don't hear from you tonight, I'm having the babies. I have
gotta
a whole
admit,
song
like,
about that.
Look, whether or not you're autistic or not, if she is autistic or whatever's going on, that's weird. It's weird to do that to somebody.
Especially because autistic people are generally very honest, and that's part of the problem.
And
like,
deliberate.
You're so honest that it offends people. So you're honest, like autistic people don't generally understand social cues and will sometimes say things like, when someone says, how are you today? How you doing? They'll be like, I'm terrible. I couldn't sleep last night and I didn't, and they don't understand what small talk is, and they'll just blurt out whatever it is that's on their mind. That's an autism thing. It is not it's not an autistic side effect or whatever or hardship that makes autistic people tell damaging lies about others. This is not a thing. So whatever, if she has autism, her damaging lies about people is not connected to that in any way.
Yeah,
I don't personally believe she has autism, but I'd like to see a medical report on that from an
I did talk to Gingras
doctor.
a little bit about that. I don't know if he has anything about that, but he says that he believes that Laura Owens really does have autism. He cited a number of different reasons. But when I did my show...
Were any of those reasons an actual diagnosis from a licensed doctor?
He didn't confirm or deny, is what I would say. But we also didn't get a whole lot into. We only spoke for like an hour, and most of it was like nerdy Rule 26 talk.
Oh God, he's so hung up on that Rule 26, and it doesn't. It's not even. I don't think it's even applicable because he withdrew the Rule 26 motion, so it wasn't on the table anymore.
The way that he's trying to frame it is that it might not have been a Rule 26 because of the dismissal, but the motion itself, the triable issue itself, was akin to a Rule 26 issue, and so the restrictions should still apply. But then there's other stuff that brought up that he did give notice about in certain other areas, and
he did
all
give
those
notice.
other things.
So I think it's moot. It's moot.
So I understand his issue, but I also understand what happened, and to the extent that the court found that he gave notice, then it is moot, pretty much. And so that is the issue on appeal. So I guess we'll see.
I'd also take issue with him saying that dishonest people make money off this case. David Gingras, Esquire, YouTubers make money on all different kinds of cases, all cases that we report on, all stories that we report on. Those of us who are monetized are making money on the topics that we cover. But as I say all the time, you people are not tuning in because of the topic that I'm discussing. I mean, some of you might be here because you are following one case or the other. But for the most part, the reason why you come back and the reason why you send super chats and the reason you support this program is not because of the cases I'm covering, but it's because of me, my personality, and what I bring to the coverage of the stories I'm interested in that you are also interested in. And the reason why you support Omar is because of Omar's personality and probably that amazing lighting in his studio, which, it's so good. But I mean, that's why you support his show, is because you want to hear his perspective on things. It's not the topic. Omar could talk about anything and you would go over there and you would watch him. And he does. He talks about all kinds of stuff. And I could talk about anything. And you would come to me and watch me. My God, I've had a stream about my hair, an entire stream about my hair. And you all showed up and you all sent super chats. And so it just proves you're not here for the topic. You're here for the personalities. And that's what we're selling on YouTube. So when people come after me and they say, you're getting rich off this case, I'm like, no, give me another case. I'll do the same thing. Give me a different case.
And
Give me a different case. Yeah, and I mean, I've been covering court cases. I mean, when we're talking about law tubers are and I'm not technically a law tuber because I'm not a lawyer, but I'm a journalist who covers court cases, and so I get lumped in with LawTube a lot. I call myself LawTube adjacent because I'm not really part of the group because I'm not a lawyer. But
I don't know. I think you're kind of part of the group, Megan. There's no denying it.
Well, I'm adjacent for sure. I mean, I definitely cover the same types of cases, but I mean, the idea that this is just making money on this case. You should have seen my paychecks for Johnny Depp, sir. Like, my paychecks for the Depp trial were good stuff.
I missed out on the Johnny Depp stuff. I got started kind of after that.
You know what you should do? You should do a rewatch of that trial with your audience. It's about time to redo it again because it's good stuff, man. That was a great trial. Just an absolutely great trial. That was one of the few.
I watched that one for entertainment. I don't really do that much for trials, but that one was a good one for sure.
Oh, it was a great one, and that's where my channel kind of leapt into the LawTube sphere, and that's where I started covering other cases, and because it became a genre that people really wanted. They really wanted other opinions on current cases and high profile cases instead of just the talking heads on TV that don't bring much personality to it. They wanted to hear they wanted to hear their views reflected, and that's really what we do. Our views, it's kind of like what Rush Limbaugh was famous for. Everybody who loved Rush, one of the things they would say about his show was, this guy says exactly what I'm thinking. And I think that's what happened in the law tube sphere, is that a bunch of us started saying what other people watching these trials were thinking, while Law and Crime and the other channels, Court TV, were saying something totally different. They were saying things that the people watching the trials were like, that's not what happened. That I don't think that's right. And so we just gave better coverage to some of these court cases. So this is just garbage. Dishonest people make money off this case. David, lots of people make money off of court cases. Court entertainment is a thing. And I am entitled to make money off of court entertainment in as much as Law and Crime or Court TV is.
The same way that he's entitled to make money off of Laura Owens. He's getting paid.
That's right.
I don't know if he's getting paid as much as we think he is, but
he claims he's not getting paid now. He claims he's doing all of this pro bono now.
I don't know if that's true or not, but he got paid something at some point. And so it certainly wasn't for free.
So then he goes on to say, I haven't watched all that much of your coverage of the case. Bullshit. I guarantee you he's watched it all, probably twice. But what I have seen has been shockingly dishonest. Way, way, way across the line. Of course, he has not given one example of this dishonesty.
Right. I would ask for the timestamp.
Yep, me too. Give me the timestamps, David. Your affection for one side is so extreme. If someone told me you were dating Clayton this whole time, I'd believe it. Oh, boy.
Well, let's put that to the test.
You know what's strange is that he's always doing this. He's always saying that people who support Clayton are in love with Clayton. First of all, I don't even watch The Bachelor anymore. I used to be a Bachelor fan a long time ago. I did have a Bachelor podcast at one time for one season, just for fun. But I haven't watched it in a very long time. So I had no idea who Clayton was. None. I obviously am familiar with the show. So this case caught my attention really because of what was happening to Dave, to another journalist. Yeah. I saw this as a threat to what I do and to journalists and journalism. And I saw her behavior, her unhinged behavior, trying to get him charged with a harassment as a real threat to what we do here. And so that's why I wanted in on this case. I wanted to defend Dave. I had no interest really in Clayton. I thought, and you can go back and watch my early coverage, I thought Clayton was kind of a dumbass. And I thought that his, behavior could have been better. But then again, at the same time, hindsight is 20/20, and he didn't really do anything wrong. He really didn't. And as my coverage continued, I felt a little bad for being like, Clayton's a dumbass, because he's not. When it came out that all these other men had the same problem, it's like, oh my God, it could happen to anybody. So it wasn't Clayton's. But that's not what got me interested in the case. It was Dave and what was happening to Dave. And I just won't stand for it. You don't treat Dave like that. Dave says Megan was an angel in answer to my prayers. Well, you know what, Dave? If you were praying for help and I came along, it should be evidence that prayer works, because I saw what was going on with you and I was like, oh, hell no, not on my watch. I'm not going to let a journalist go down like this. Absolutely not.
It's funny, man. The way that I got involved in the case was completely just out of the blue. I was literally just, so what's the next case we're going to talk about? I think I just finished talking about Natalia Grace. And then somebody from the JFC, I think it was the JFC Reddit, whoever creator was, JFC, Justice for Clay, they had reached out about a couple of times about me talking about this case. And then it led me to, hey, you should, alt-right angel. Yeah.
That's going in my bio. I'm putting it in there right now.
And then they were like, you should reach out to Dave Neal. I was like, all right, I'll reach out to Dave Neal. And then it was like, I feel like I was like a little fly buzzing around Dave's like, oh, Jesus Christ, another one. Okay, let me tell him all about the Clayton Eckert case and Laura Owens. Here we go again. It's like, well, sorry, I don't know when. Hey, man, I was asked to be here.
I know. By the time you came into it, poor Dave had repeated the story so many times to other broadcasters.
Which I get it.
And people that he was just like exhausted. And I get it. I understand. I was like watching it happen. And poor Dave, this woman tried to ruin every milestone in his first baby's life. And and ruining not only their baby moon, but their shower. I will never forget their baby shower. They would release this stuff on knowing the day he was having the baby shower, it would be like all this shit against Dave. It was diabolical frankly, it was diabolical. And I'm just glad that I could be there for Dave and try to take some of that heat off of Dave for a while, because it was too much. He was targeted so personally and so falsely. You want to talk about dishonest people? They were being dishonest about Dave. And that's really, really clear. And that was way, way, way across the line, if you ask me.
No, I agree. I do remember seeing all of those. I felt real bad for Dave because he was going through. I mean, if you've had children in the newborn stage, you know, like what a weird, scary transitional time that is, and have to be dealing with litigation on top of that. I couldn't even imagine. And so,
well, right, and their first baby, and like his wife. Imagine Anne moving across the country, changing their lives. Like his wife, such a sweetheart she is. But the stress that she had to have been under with this constant threat of litigation over their heads, and the stalking that was going on with Laura stalking him and calling the FBI and all of that, it's just crazy. No one should go through this. No one. And if I see another journalist going through it and I can do something to help, I will, because it's wrong. This is wrong. And there's a concerted effort out there to stop YouTubers from reporting stories of public interest by claiming that we're not real journalists and that what we are doing is harassment. And I've seen this across several cases now. And this is not going to stand. And if it does, it's very dangerous for the First Amendment. So if I see that going on somewhere, and that's the same in Aidan Carney's case, and the Turtle Boy case, and Karen Reed, same thing. While he's much more aggressive than I am, and he's done things that maybe I wouldn't do, I still haven't found anything that where Aidan could be actually charged with actual witness intimidation. And yet he is charged with it, and he is facing 120 years in jail. It is absurd. Massachusetts laws on witness intimidation are so vague that, witness intimidation laws were made to stop people like the mob from threatening to murder a witness if they went and testified. They're using Aidan Carney's attempts to get a story as witness intimidation. Him trying to say, contact witnesses in this case and find out what's your story, talk to me. This is witness intimidation according to them, which is crazy, and him protesting witness intimidation. So I don't put up with this crap, and I will cover these stories because I think it is a big threat to the First Amendment to start attacking journalists.
I just don't think how you could legislate anything like that against private, independent, amateur journalists, if that's even the correct term, without infringing upon what people would call legitimate media outlets.
Oh, they're absolutely infringing. They're absolutely infringing. And the media that won't cover it, they were all gung-ho to cover Aidan's arrest and Aidan's hearings for that arrest. And now all of a sudden that it's going to trial, they're not covering it anymore. And suddenly we have Brady violations from the prosecution and evidence that the prosecutor set him up. It is incredible what's coming out in that case. And I can't wait to read that letter about the Brady violations. I'm going to be doing it on this channel. It is something. Omar, if you want to get into some crazy shit, look into Turtle Boy's case. The media is not interested at all now to cover what's going to happen during his trial because the whole thing's going down in flames. I'm telling you, because they have no evidence that he did any of this that they are claiming. So anyway, here's the last paragraph. It says, by comparison, I'm not a YouTuber, I'm a lawyer. Well, David, you might do better on YouTube than you do as a lawyer, so you might want to reconsider.
I kind of agree with that, man. I think he'd probably have a good following if he started a channel. I
think so, too. I don't get paid more for lying more. Well, neither do we, David. No one here gets paid for lying. I don't know where he comes up with this shit, but whatever. No. Malk W. I need this case. Megan, a YouTuber had recently had Supreme Court judge say that YouTube is journalism. I just can't remember the guy that did it, but I can find out for you. Yeah, you know what? I would really love to see that case. If you could email it to me, that would be great. Or send it on Twitter DMs. I'm at Megan Fox Writer. Or you can send it to my email, which is meganfox.writer@protonmail.com. I'll leave that up on the screen for a little while because I would like to see that. We are going to have some serious court cases about this issue so that we don't keep facing it. A Supreme Court case, a Supreme Court ruling would be fantastic. But we've got the thumbnail lawsuit against Larry, DUI guy, right now by the What the Hales case, which is absolutely insane, where the Lynette Preston's lawyer is suing a LawTuber and Jeremy Hales for using Lynette's picture in thumbnails, claiming copyright violation, and that he owes her money for the money he made on those videos that he used the thumbnail of. And by the way, her picture that they're using was taken from a public court case where she was filmed in a public case. You can't, she doesn't own the copyright to that. That is you have no expectation of privacy in a public courtroom.
Is that lawsuit still ongoing, or has it not been dismissed? It seems like an easy dismissal.
Of course it's an easy dismissal, but we're talking about a state court that is, overworked, and it's just taking forever. So I don't know I don't remember if their motion to dismiss went in yet. I think it did. I feel like I've read the motion to dismiss. So yeah, I think it did go in. I mean, Omar, that case is so crazy that they, in the law that they cited, the copyright law in Florida statute, they specifically left out the exceptions to the law, which is media, broadcasting, print journalism, any kind of journalism or media or news program. It includes podcasts and obviously YouTube. It doesn't say that in the law, but it says any other kind of news publication,
open-ended,
broadcast, open-ended. So, and they specifically left it out. But this is more of the attacks on YouTubers who are covering cases because the mainstream press they want to have a monopoly on all of this. They do not want, and that's why they won't report when YouTubers are being attacked, and they often take part in the attacking of the YouTubers because they don't want us as competition.
Well, that's just, you have to license the act of being a journalist then. The same way you do like what you have to.
And that's illegal.
Exactly.
The First Amendment says it prohibits that.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work that way. You are not allowed to say who's a member of the press and who is not. The government cannot do that. Absolutely not. So that's never going to be the case. Okay, here it says here, thus I really can't understand people like you who think the truth is a joke and the AdSense money is worth more than your integrity. But hey, posting vids and cashing checks from Google is easier than actually practicing law, right? More power to you, brother. Is that racist? It feels racist to me. Why?
I think it was more like Hulk Hogan. I read it in Hulk Hogan voice. So.
I read it in David Gingras being a racist voice because I feel like that brother is sarcastic based on your skin tone. That's what I think. That's
how
I think.
In my thumbnail. It's funny. Gingras was remarking on my thumbnail for my Friday live stream.
The one where you had him in a headlock?
Yeah, I was like, that was Dominic, bro. Because I was like, because I said something like, okay, brother.
Oh God! I just so that was his response to you, which I thought was very unprofessional and chock full of all kinds of garbage.
Yep.
But then we have Omar. I talked to Laura. It's a pass. We're going to talk to someone from JFC. I've been texting several of them all day, but we're not talking to you. I don't mean to be a dick. Yeah, you do. But this conversation we should have had 6 months ago. Would have been glad to talk then, as we previously did. I would have been happy to explain our side, as I tried to do.
Well, 6 months ago, Laura didn't want to do it.
Right.
And then I had like that email exchange with Gingras. But then I think like the very next day, I did my 4-hour live stream. And then I think at that point I was out. Because it's like I had all these negative opinions about what I was seeing on their side. And I think I was out at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I would imagine, though, that if they had wanted to come on, did he contact you 6 months ago and say he wanted to come on?
No, Laura contacted me. I actually read the emails on my Friday
I remember
live.
that. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember she contacted you. You were like, I'm going to go into this case. I'm going to go in as a neutral party. I'm going to be objective. And we were teasing you. We were like, oh my God, Omar, stop. You're killing us, because, we'd already been doing this for so long. Like, oh, he's going to be objective. Let's see how long this lasts. Because
you saw in real time how long it lasted. It's not very long.
And then I really enjoyed our, when we did our little mock trial. You and me.
That was fun.
I feel like we should do a much longer one with all the information that we have now.
Like a legit one, like where we fully prepare and let's like do a full on direct exam, cross exam. That would be fun.
Wouldn't
As
that
long
be
as you
fun?
bring the voice, you got to bring the voice.
Oh, I have it. Um,
The vocal
what?
fry.
Um, what? I have it. I have it on call at any moment. Omar, I don't
Oh.
know what you're saying.
So, Laura, why are you the way that you are? Why do you sound like that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a radio professional.
You just need to invest in the fisherman cough drops that Pam got me onto.
You know, the crazy thing about her vocal fry is that it disappears when she's on the radio. So when she's on the radio, so she knows on some level that when she's on the radio, she needs to use her radio voice, which does not include vocal fry. But when she's not on the radio, the vocal fry is like intense. So I don't know. It's a strange thing.
I don't know, man. I mean, it does make sense to me that when she's on the radio, she tries to put on her best voice. But the vocal fry thing is obnoxious. I can't. It's so hard. It's distracting.
It is
It's
very
distracting.
distracting. It is. Yeah, I think Omar had his moment when he had to read the tight vag email. I feel like that might have been the turning point for Omar.
That is quite the advertisement.
So what you're saying is that it is not a total no yet. It was a no in these emails, but since then you've spoken to David Gingras and they're waffling a bit. They may come on your program.
They nothing's official, but at first he wanted to get off his couple of emails. He was pissed at me. And then he came in the YouTube comments and was like, "Do you want to tell them why we didn't talk 6 months ago?" And I was like, "Hell yeah." And then I did my Friday live and I went into all of it. Like, he was acting like I was trying to keep it a big secret. It's like, I read your emails on the live and like I explained everything. And so then after that live, I think Friday evening, we had exchanged some text messages. I talked to him this morning for about an hour, 15 minutes. And, we kind of buried the hatchet in terms of all the adolescent vitriol stuff. And then he was open to like having a discussion. I even told him, I was like, "Hey, Dave, if like you were to talk publicly the way that you're talking to me right now, I think that people would have a different opinion." It's just like when you're writing all of these tweets and everything, when you're attacking people in text, you come off like a dick. And it's like, "Yeah, I totally do. I get it. I'm a total dick." And we shared that. So I don't know how genuine he is or if it's even going to happen or what benefit it would serve. Because I think people have already seen all the evidence. I could tell you that he still, I feel like he genuinely believes Laura's story. I mean, he's told me that. I don't have a reason to disbelieve him. We didn't get into the evidentiary reasons why. I did talk to him a little bit about his method of representation and how it's kind of made things worse. But then we moved on to Rule 26 and got into some academic discussion about that. But so, no, there's not really a beef between me and him. I'm not mad at him for his emails. He's not mad at me, so he says.
Well, this text or tweet that was on October 4th. He says, "Despite accusing me of being unprofessional, Omar thinks it's okay to make videos reading 100% false bar complaints without ever asking me for my side. He has also called me a scumbag and worse." Well, sir, you called us cockroaches, so, and pond scum. So I don't really think you have much of a high horse there. And that's how you spot a gaslighter, with facts. So what is what bar complaint is he referring to?
I don't want to go into the identity of the bar complaint, but it was a bar complaint. I actually went over that bar complaint and I went over his response. And then I said what I thought was going to happen.
Do you mean the one that was filed during the course of this case?
It was after Dave's. I don't know the timing of when it was
I know
filed.
about this. Yes, I've read this one.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite good.
I mean, it was full of attachments, and it was basically just tweets, and it was focused on the conduct of Gingras and the way that he's presented things in the public. And then I read his response to all of those things, and I shared that I don't think that he's going to get in trouble. If he didn't get in trouble with Dave, I don't think this is going to do anything.
He's not going to get in trouble, no, because the bar doesn't do anything to attorneys unless they are they have they're get a drunk driving thing or they have messed with funds. Messing with funds
Yes.
is a good way to get your bar card taken. But if you haven't messed with funds of your client and you're just a shitty person who behaves this way, they just don't care. They just don't care. And I'm not sure why, but that is just the way it is.
I mean, they do. They're very hands off unless you're monetarily damaging a client. They try to stay hands off with it. Because it's like, okay, the way you're conducting yourself, like you just said, unless there's crimes, but when it's something like basically your PR strategy, it's sort of like when you file these ineffective assistance of counsel motions in a criminal court. The courts give a lot of leeway to attorneys to litigate cases how they want. It's got to be like really obvious that you did something really stupid that put your client's liberties in peril, that they would make a finding that, okay, it was definitely ineffective. Like, for example, you're a tax lawyer, you've never done a criminal case, and then you are representing somebody in a death penalty case, with no experience, whatever, not disclosing that to your client, that might be deemed ineffective. There's other examples. But they're really, the bar is really low in terms of what they'd allow you to get away with, basically.
Yes, the bar is low. Yes, that's a good way to put it. The bar has a very low bar for attorney behavior, unfortunately.
I said on those lives that, look, man, he's done stuff that I've never seen other attorneys do, and I would be nervous doing those things. That's basically what I said.
I agree. He pushes the envelope and I could understand if it were resulting in some positive things for his client. I just don't see that. I don't see anything positive for her based on his strategy. And so I really don't understand it. I don't know how much of it is. Look at what MG says here. He needlessly increased the cost of litigation in this case. So I would say he damaged his client financially. I agree. I think it was his fault that this went as far as it did.
I know what his exact argument to that would be. He would argue that in the opposite direction. I don't want to get too much into that because it'll turn like an academic thing. But okay. I agree with that litigation has been needlessly exacerbated by some of these motions. He's going to say, well, because of the Rule 26 stuff. This should have been all dismissed. Laura Owens tried to dismiss it a long time ago, and we're still litigating after she tried to get it dismissed. And how's that my fault? That's what he's going to say in so many terms.
Well, I think that it is not his place to say that that a litigant in court shouldn't have gotten a lawyer. I find that outrageous that he's even put that in writing, that Clayton is at fault because he hired a lawyer.
Well,
he needed a lawyer, and he's claiming that it's Clayton who, dragged this out by getting a lawyer. But at that point, Clayton had been completely abused by someone using the system falsely to, give him repercussions for rejecting her. So he had every right to get a lawyer and refused to let it drop and try to get his name back. So I just don't get his argument.
I think
especially when he says things like, "Oh, I've been accused of being a father of a child I didn't sire. Like it took me 2 seconds and no money at all." Yeah, well, there was a kid, and a DNA test is no big deal. It's like $20 or whatever. But there was no kid in this case. This was a totally different scenario. This is not the kind of scenario that he talked about. Sorry, you were saying you think that.
I forgot what I was saying. I was moving on to a different thing, but because most paternity petitions are pretty cut and dry, black and white. But this was not a typical case. It involved like admissions of doctoring evidence, which called into question whether or not she had a reasonable belief that she was ever pregnant. You could agree or disagree with that statement, but it's enough to allow, in my opinion, the case go forward the way that it did. Whether you think the Rule 26 things. Motions are going to absolve them of anything. I don't know, but that's why it's not. This was never going to be a 5-second case because of that very reason. There's other things at play.
All right. So 13 hours ago, David put this up, and I'm not going to show the pictures because I find them to be. I find the pictures to actually be really upsetting for his client, and I don't know why he still continues to post pictures of her emaciated body and also the extended belly photos. I don't know why he keeps doing this, because I think it opens his client up to more ridicule and to, just more of what she doesn't want. And yet he keeps doing it. So he tweeted this out. JFC says, Laura faked pregnancy because Comedy Man says so. And MAGA, I guess that's supposed to be me. I guess so. I'm MAGA, which is weird.
Alt-right angel.
Which is weird because I've taken this election season totally off, and I have I don't care, and I have done no coverage of any of it at all.
That is true.
The only thing I covered was the attempted assassination, because I thought that was important on a news level, and I wanted to cover that. But I mean, I've even turned down you for political talks. I just am not interested in that. So I think he's really reaching when he's trying to accuse me of being some kind of MAGA spokesperson. I definitely am not. But whatever. And I don't think anybody in JFC is all MAGA either. Like, they hate me for that
Not
very
at all.
reason. They hate me because of my, MAGA history or whatever. And because I own a hat, I guess. But because I don't hate Donald Trump. That's my crime. I don't hate him. I don't particularly think he's the best candidate, but it is what it is.
How dare you?
I know, but that's, I guess I'm really MAGA, Me, left pic taken 1 year ago after 6 positive pregnancy tests. Right, pic taken yesterday, 10/5/24. I don't know what it proves to show gluten belly, fatter chick on the left, and then someone who's lost a ton of weight using we don't know what or how.
Well, she got down to 85 pounds. Remember in her article, like a couple of weeks ago, she said she's down to 85 pounds. She blamed it on depression, anxiety, and stress. And so,
yeah. I mean,
if she was, it doesn't prove anything. I agree with you.
It doesn't prove anything. The pictures have never proved anything. A picture of an extended belly doesn't prove pregnancy. This is not medical evidence of anything. It could be gluten belly. It could be her PCOS. It could be all kinds of things. It could be.
How hard would it be for you to take a picture, Megan, and make it look like you were pregnant?
Not hard at all. There's a filter for that,
That's
They actually have an app for that. And then he says, JFC, but Rachel loves us, talking about the county attorney, which I don't think is true either. I don't think she particularly loves anyone in this case. I bet she wishes she didn't have to look into it in the first place, because she probably doesn't need the extra stress. Reddit said we win. We want justice, screw facts. And me, justice is coming soon. Well, you keep saying that, David, but we're not seeing evidence of that. Now, I'm skipping over these pictures because, frankly, when I see the picture of her at allegedly 85 pounds, I'm horrified and worried about her condition. And I don't know why he keeps putting photographs of her scantily clad at that weight. I feel like this is a problem. I'm worried about her health, and I don't know why he isn't. And obviously her mental health too.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's more of his conversation on this one. He's still at it. He just won't stop. He has no off button. People are responding to him. Kate says, I'm sure she's very stressed. I don't think anyone disputes that, but it's self-imposed. Perjury prosecution would be stressful, as would trying to keep track of the web of lies she created. No one has come forward in support of Laura except you, whom she's paying. He said plenty of people have come forward in Laura's support. Really? Where are they? I've talked to many of them. You just don't see them because they're not in a cult. Well, we're not in a cult either, so I don't understand. Does he think Reddit is a cult? Maybe he thinks Reddit's a cult.
I honestly don't know what he considers the JFC community, like how far it extends. Because I'm literally of the opinion that it really just means anybody that doesn't support his client's side.
Right. Well, where's the Reddit page dedicated to justice for Laura then? Where's the Redditors who are, looking for, they want Laura's story to be heard? I don't think they exist because I think they've looked at the facts. He said normal people don't spend months obsessively trying to destroy a stranger's life just because some stupid TV show guy was involved. You know what else normal people don't do, David? Normal people don't spend years of their lives obsessively trying to destroy a stranger's life because he wouldn't date her. That's something that normal people don't do. And I actually think it's far more normal for people to be obsessed with the truth in this case than not.
I guess the reason why I would be interested in a candid conversation with David is because, look, there's some things that Laura has done that he would even admit, and he's even said in court that are questionable, the lying, the ultrasounds and all that kind of stuff. But just her behavior and her actions, I'm really curious because I know what the points of all the JFC community are about why they are leery of Laura Owens. And even David admits that, look, at first glance, that he understands why people have those concerns. I'm curious about the reasons why, in spite of all of that, he still takes her side and is so willing to jump on X to defend her, and get into these sparring matches with random folks on the internet. Because whose purpose are we serving here? Like, what are we doing? I just don't understand it.
What is this? I've never seen attorneys do this in current litigation, especially when your client is facing now a criminal investigation. This is the time to shut up. Shut up. Keep your head down, Laura. I can't believe, it's better for us if she doesn't, because we think she should get caught and be held responsible. But as her attorney, my God, this is the time to tell your client to shut your mouth. Do not say anything, because anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. You're under investigation right now criminally. That means that her latest Medium articles can be used against her in this as well. And he continues to let her lie, in impounding perjury on perjury. I get that a Medium article is not in court, but still, we have the court transcripts. We know what you said in court. You can't then tell another story on the internet and expect that not to be included in whatever investigation is going on.
That would have been question number one about what I was going to ask him about if we were going to do this hypothetical interview. Laura Owens is under criminal investigation. Like, why are you allowing her to speak out? Yeah. And go on live streams and stuff if they're going to go on a live stream? I don't think that Laura's going on a live. I just don't. Because of the investigation, it makes no sense to put her in the spotlight. It makes
no sense. It makes zero sense whatsoever. I encourage you to do it, David, but it makes no sense. And it makes people wonder, what the hell kind of representation is this? The Rogue Mama responded to him and said, the problem with calling everything a cult is it waters down the actual damage real cults cause. Calling the opposition a cult is just deflection. And he responds, I respectfully disagree. I'm not calling everything a cult, just JFC. JFC is a real cult. It's just in a different form than we're used to seeing. And I don't have any issue with Clayton supporters. It's the people who are drunk on Kool-Aid that I have a problem with. Well, what's the difference between a Clayton supporter and his cult members?
Yeah, he's got to define terms, because I don't even know what that means. Drunk on Kool-Aid. What is the Kool-Aid? Give me I need specifics. Because if it's just people that are supporting Clayton's position, which he says he doesn't have and he told me that he doesn't have a problem with people that disagree with him. And so, but the problem is when people confront him with actual evidence and ask him to answer questions about it, rather than give he shouldn't give any response at all. But to the extent he's going to respond, it's not like this professional, academic, well thought out thing. He calls him a cult and he insults and he does all these things and it comes off as a dick, which I don't think that he would agree with what I just said or disagree with what I just said.
Rhea Norman, thanks for the 2, says, I bet Gingras has the snake chorus as his ringtone. That would be really funny. He probably enjoyed that, actually. He never said that he liked the musical, but I have to imagine that he did. Because the way he writes is so musical.
It's theatrical for sure.
It's so theatrical. It's very musical. It has a musicality to it that it makes it really easy to make it into a song. I found out that my writing is not that way. Unfortunately, mine is real difficult. I have to switch.
Could I describe your writing? Your writing is very just boom in your face. Yeah. Fact. Checking. Jesus, could I breathe? How about throwing a joke?
Right. If I did that, it might be more musical the way his is. But I'm very focused on getting my point across.
It's very good. It's how you're taught to write, but it's you're so good at it. It's Jesus. You just take me on a ride and you don't let me off. I can't stop to ponder what you just said.
I should work on that maybe. I don't know. But Caroline B, thanks for the 5. Fabulous hair day. You look amazing today. Well, thank you so much. I almost had a bad hair day because I wasn't able to finish drying it because I had to go get hangry at school. And so I had half wet hair, which is never a good thing. And then I had to finish drying it when I got home and I was very worried about it, but it turned out okay. So Roy Lonsinger, member for 7 months, says Dumb and Dumber, the law offices of Deuce and Dingus. I know they should maybe go into practice together. What a nightmare that would be.
Deuce and Dingus.
Fake Laura Owens, thanks to the 5. Gingras not a hair puller or biter. It interferes with inflating his penis pump. Oh, Lord. I didn't say it. Elephant, thanks for the 2. My fellow allergy people, antihistamine eye drops. Oh, yeah, I got all of them. The nose spray, the eye drops, the Allegra. I got all of it. Rogue Mama, thanks for the 5. This new website launched this weekend, allthebestresearch.com. All the best. Oh,
All the best.
I love it.
All the best, all the best, all the best.
Thank God.
All the very best, all the best.
That's what the documentary should be called. It should be called All the Best.
I love
Rogue-
AI, man. I love how everybody has like AI intros now.
I know. I know AI is great. Rogue Mama, thanks for the 5. Oh, I already got that one. All right. Starchasm, thanks for the 10. Says there is a $2 tight tax. I will need a partial refund on Cash App. Omar, adding to your invoice.
For the tight tax? Wait a minute.
What's the tight
What does that
tax?
even mean?
I don't know.
How are we enforcing the tight tax?
Oh, good Lord. Brooke J, thanks for the 5. Has Gingras ever heard of the news? Does he think those reporters are all volunteers? I know. Whenever these people criticize YouTube for making money, they never include the same news organizations that are covering the same story. During the Johnny Depp trial, they tried to take down Tug's channel. They tried to take down Nick Rekieta's channel. They tried to take down a bunch of YouTubers who were doing LawTube coverage of that trial by saying that they were using the trial to make massive amounts of money. And I think that Nick Rekieta had shared that he made like $700,000 on that trial, which is a lot of money. But how much do you think? How much do you think Law and Crime made? I guarantee you, it was in the tens of millions.
Probably.
So the idea
least.
at least the idea that they think that some guy making $700,000 on a trial is some big story when you've got Law and Crime making tens of millions on the same trial is ridiculous. Tug didn't make anywhere near that much. He made a lot on Johnny Depp, but we're talking those YouTube channels, by the way, in the grand scheme of like YouTube channels, those are small channels, even though they're 500,000 subscribers, 350,000 subscribers. In YouTube numbers, those are small. Big YouTube channels like Mr. Beast, millions of subscribers, millions. That it's not even the money that LawTubers are making, even the biggest ones, even Emily D. Baker. It is a drop in the bucket compared to what the big YouTubers are making. It is a drop in the bucket. It is nothing to write home about. It is nothing to be all concerned about. We are not giving the mainstream press a run for their money because they are making so much more than we are. Now, are people starting to tune out and tune into us? It may be, but that's their problem and they need to work on that. And they don't need the New York Times doing their dirty work to get us off the case.
That's a quality of coverage issue. It has nothing to do. When you attack, it's like the most un-American thing ever to attack somebody for making money in anything that they do. Like if they're doing YouTube channel and they're putting themselves out there and subjecting themselves to ridicule and criticism and comments and about, whatever it is, they should be compensated. If you can get paid, then get paid for it. Like that's not like
Absolutely.
I would not be a lawyer for free. The fact that I make money off my clients, I've never been attacked for doing that. Why would you attack anybody for making money however it is?
Because they think that that it somehow reflects badly on us that we're not doing this for free, which is crazy. Why would anybody do anything for free? Yeah. And I know that you've said multiple times the money you make on your channel goes right back into the show and the people helping you.
That's why my lighting's so good.
Yeah, that's why you have such great lighting. But also you have like a staff of people who helps you with the show and you have to pay them somehow. It has to be lucrative for them to do it, to want to help you with it. And I totally get that. I love that you have your show and you do what you do. I love your Family Law After Dark thing. I think that's a great segment. I'll have to join you again one of these days because that is my jam, family law stuff for sure.
It was funny. We were mentioning you on Flat. It was like, yeah, Megan came on Family Law After Dark once. And I felt like my mom was in the stream and I felt judged for my comments. And then Bruce was like, yeah, she's definitely not going to be listening to your hot takes. It's like, what hot takes? That's what he said.
I don't love that show. I love that show. No, I just have a more stringent viewpoint on some of this stuff than
yes,
others,
you do.
I guess. But that's me. Anybody else can do what they want. Flux, thanks for the 2. Hashtag Megan's Homos. I do appreciate you guys. My homos are in the chat. Sticky Widget, thanks for the 2. Megalodonus adjacentus. I like that. Dave Neal, I starred this because he said, truly, I remember where I was when we first talked. A Taco Bell drive-thru. Pregnant wife needed tacos. I remember that conversation too. It was funny because he was in the drive-thru and he did have to take an order while I was on the phone. Angel gifted 10 Megan Fox memberships. Welcome to the Fox Den, all of you who got those. I missed them. They went by, so I don't know who got them. But please make sure you thank Angel for that. Rah, rah, baby. Thanks for the $2.79 hair tax. Appreciate that. The hair tax is part of the show. Make sure that you pay your hair tax before you leave and before you leave us today. If you have not hit the like button, please do that. We have over 1,000 of you here, and I know that the ratio can't be that good. It never is. I'm not looking at it right now, but look at this tweet. David says, it's not out of hand. Rosalind pointed out to David that the eating disorder is out of hand. He said, it's not out of hand because A, Laura knows she's too thin. She just can't deal with food normally. B, she has an extremely strong support system. And C, people who care about her are watching her like a hawk. She will recover from this. She just needs all the hate to stop. Couple of things. If she has an eating disorder and everyone knows it's this bad, she should be in an inpatient facility somewhere getting that sorted out. It's not something that's just going to resolve on its own. And his letter C, she needs all the hate to stop. Then she should stop posting her ridiculous excuses on Medium, David. All of this would have gone away until we find out from the county attorney what she's going to do. If she had not posted that, no one was covering this, David.
I was going to say, when was the last time that you did a Laura Owens video?
I actually went over that before you got on the stream, and I was showing how many videos I had in between, of all different other things, including Turtle Boy, What the Hales. And the only reason I came back to do a Laura stream is because of that stupid Medium article that he let her publish.
Right. That's when she does stuff like that. That's when you see these videos pop up. When they're quiet, everybody else is quiet. And so that seems to me to be the move. What's up, Bruce?
Bruce from Oregon says if she had a strong support system, she would have had an OBGYN and many ultrasounds. That's right. Someone with a strong support system who's pregnant and is having trouble getting to doctor's appointments, their support system would get them there. That is a very good point.
I love Bruce, man. His brain is always moving. You say something and just expected, he takes it down the logical next step, and always he's great, man. I love Bruce.
Rogue Mama wants to know, what does MAGA have to do with this? Bringing Trump in your motions and MAGA in your post diminishes your argument.
These tweets?
Yes, 4 hours ago. Bad for your PR game, my friend. And he says, MAGA has a lot to do with this because JFC and MAGA are cults. Cult members live in a fact-free world where a photo of a pregnant woman doesn't prove pregnancy. I know a guy who thinks the earth is flat. He is exactly the same. He only accepts evidence that confirms his views. When is a photograph of someone's swollen stomach ever proof of pregnancy? When you go to get your, diagnosed as pregnant, nobody asks you to show them your belly, and no one an obstetrician doesn't take a photo of your stomach to let you know if you're pregnant or not. That is not verifiable proof of pregnancy, no matter how you look at it. He's the one living in a fact-free world. He has no medical evidence that this woman was ever pregnant.
I was going to say, I wonder if you got him on in a trial setting and he was the witness and you were just questioning about him, about, what a reasonable person would say to specific instances of evidence. I don't want to say, I just know that there's specific things in the evidence that are unavoidable, that reasonable people, all of them, have sided with the fact that Laura Owens probably was never pregnant and she probably faked it. 100%. I can
go in the mirror right now and pull my shirt up and stick my belly out, take a picture and look 6 months pregnant. That is just the reality of being a mom that had 3 kids and didn't have plastic surgery to fix it. I can look pregnant at any moment. I can do that.
Good for you, by the way, man.
I would like to have the plastic surgery. I just can't afford it.
I was hell yeah, you own that shit.
Well, I do. I mean, I can, look, it is what it is. That's the case when you've had a stretched out belly, 3 times, and you gotta, it stays, there's just nothing, but I can make myself look 5 to 6 months pregnant immediately. I could do it right now, but by pushing it out there, that's not proof of pregnancy. It's just not proof of pregnancy. Period. It's just not. And I know lots of women who can do the same thing. Lots of women can, if they're gluten intolerant, can eat a bagel and look pregnant within an hour.
See, the problem is, like, I know that Gingras is saying that he believes Laura. I know that. And the evidence that he's relying on is literally Dr. Medchill. That's the arguments. And he's welcome to believe that. It's just that nobody else, seeing those 2 experts compete together, thought that Medchill made more sense than the other lady.
This is funny. Brooke J says, there is a reason you don't ask women you're not sure are pregnant about their pregnancy. Because non-pregnant women can look pregnant. Oh, yeah. That happened to me when I was a waitress one time. There was a woman who was in a sweatshirt, and she had a basketball-sized ball under her shirt. Her belly looked like exactly like 8 months pregnant. And she was rubbing this shit all night. Like, she had her hands on it. She was rubbing it. And at some point I said, when's the baby? When's the baby coming? Because she looked like she was about ready to pop. And I don't know if they were screwing with me just to make me feel terrible, or if it was truly, she wasn't pregnant. She was like, what baby? I'm not pregnant. And I was just like, oh.
Maybe she was. Was she really not?
I don't know. They could have been screwing with me, but like, I've never seen someone. And if you weren't pregnant, would you be calling attention to this giant basketball belly, like rubbing it on a date? It was so bizarre.
That is bizarre.
But it was, it is what it is. I felt so bad. They never said, psych, we're just kidding. It just got awkward after that. So I'm assuming that she wasn't pregnant and just had a tumor or something. I don't know.
The worst that ever happened to me was one of my friends. We ran into each other like in our 30s and hadn't seen each other since high school. And he's with this girl. I'm like, oh, is this your mom? It's like, no, that is my girlfriend. Like, oh, shit.
Whoops.
I'm sorry. Never mind me. I'm just coming home from the store.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
It was bad. She's like, yeah, no, I'm his girlfriend, the mom. Like, she just said with this little look on her face. It's like, I'm so sorry. I'm stupid. Never mind me.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's never good to ask anybody questions you don't know the answer to. Okay, so this person said, hi, David, this sounds very similar, if not the same as your tactics leading up to the appeal, insinuating that the only reason you could lose is if the appellate court is also obsessed with reality TV stars. Seems like you and Trump are a lot alike in that regard. He said, I can see your point, but my point is also still valid. Judges are human beings, so of course it's possible they can allow emotions to play a role. But remember, even if we lose the appeal, it's not over. We can still ask the Arizona Supreme Court for a review, and 100% we would? Oh, why is he doing this?
Well, I think that this is what I think he's thinking. I think that he believes that this Rule 26 issue is... it's a case of first review, meaning there's never been a situation like this where we have a Rule 26 style motion proceed in family court without following the proper what would have been Rule 11 procedures or Rule 26 procedures, and therefore case of first impression, it must go to the Arizona Supreme Court, and that way there will be actual case law in how to handle this specific situation. I guess the problem with that is if the court made a finding that, well, no, they did. Even if it's not a Rule 26 because it was dismissed, they did give her notice, what would have been under the proper procedural requirements, and therefore the point is moot. So those are the competing arguments, really.
Yeah, and it as far as I can tell, and I've read the accompanying case law on that, it is moot. It was given. Notice was given. And he keeps on saying that it wasn't, and that's undisputed. And it's completely disputed by Woodnick in a filing. It's disputed.
I want to say, I didn't get a chance to ask him on the phone today, but I wanted to say I thought that the judge made a ruling specifically about the notice thing. I thought I remember reading it, and not the actual judgment, because it was like a pretrial motion, and she made a ruling on that before, and specifically did away with the notice issue. I thought I remember reading that.
I don't remember. We're going to have to go back and look at all the filings, and I'm going to find it, because if he's still hung up on this Rule 26 thing, I just want to go back and clear the record there. And so I will find it, and we'll go over it again. I'll share it with you when I find it.
All right.
Never show your cards all at once. You know that, says Beavis and Butthead. And Gingras responds, this isn't a game. The fact that you're comparing Laura's life to a game has earned you a well-deserved block. Goodbye, Greg. So he's accusing random Twitter users of being Greg, just like his client, with no evidence. He's, accusing this guy of being Greg.
I would just advise David, it's like, what's the point of engaging with it? Okay. This guy's name is Beavis and Butthead. It never show you making a snarky comment. Like, why engage? Just like, leave it alone. It's not even that bad.
It's not even that bad of a comment. What do you mean? Never show your cards all at once. I mean, that's good advice, actually. And David knows that being a lawyer is a game, by the way. Pretending like lawfare isn't a game is a joke, right, Omar?
You think this is all about justice? Shit.
This is a game. It is a game. It's a high stakes game. There's a lot of money involved, but believe me, it's a game. It's like a chess match.
It's 100% like chess.
Mm-hmm. And they do lawyers do all kinds of gameplay. The motion to compel lunch. Are you telling me that wasn't a fucking game? Come on now, sir. That was a game.
Now, Laura did that pro per, right? When she did the motion to compel lunch? I'm pretty sure
that was David.
Really?
That was him. That was his first motion after his motion for more time, which he wrote a 21-page motion for more time instead of just responding to the motion that he was supposed to. He wrote like a 20-page response to this motion asking for more time when he brought up Donald Trump and all this bullshit. Then the second motion he filed, I believe it was the second one, was a motion to compel lunch with Greg Woodnick. That was David.
Oh, like a meet and confer?
He was claiming that Woodnick was refusing to meet and confer, but it was not true. And the judge was like, "Go fuck yourself. No, you're not going to get." She basically said this.
Denied. Sit down.
So he didn't get his motion to compel lunch. Yeah. So a judge already decided based on all the evidence she provided. Said, "What? I love this Twitter name, by the way. Fantastic Twitter name." And David said, yes, and that judge has had her rulings tossed out multiple times in her very short judicial career. This will be no different. Lies are not truth, no matter what you want to believe. Oh, Lord. He's still going. I mean, he's been doing this what time was it 13 hours ago? 1:22 a.m.
last night? Yeah, 2 a.m. your time?
1:22 a.m. Yeah, my time, 1:22. I'd like to stick to the facts, says Beavis and Butthead. Would you agree that as you were not present during the filming of this video, you can't say with 100% certainty it wasn't tampered with by Laura, and just because she was heavier there doesn't mean she was pregnant? And David says, please tell me that's the best argument you have. Yes, the Earth is flat and the moon landing was faked, obviously, because Photoshop, which didn't exist in 1969. And
He's such a dick, man. He's got to stop writing this stuff, man. I swear to God. Like I don't know. He just got a particular grading writing style. Like, what was that about?
And yes, the videos, multiple of her non-moon bump, are fake because you want them to be, and chemtrails.
Chemtrails. Bigfoot.
God. He is just...
I would advise David to just knock it off. It'd be better for his own mental health to stop doing this. Like this social media marketing campaign or whatever it is. I just don't see the benefit to him or to Laura or to anybody else.
I don't see the benefit either. I don't see what he's gaining by doing this. I don't. And this is interesting. Were your actions wrong when you were charged with sexual conduct with a minor? Own the mistake and tell us what happened, along with conceding her actual age. He says, it's interesting people still bring this up nearly 30 years later. And every time it tells me the same thing. You believe I'm right and Laura is going to win. Why? Because if attacking me is the best you can do, that shows you have nothing better to argue. Thanks for that. Well, that's one of the, I've never brought up this issue on my show because I looked into it and found out that it was dismissed due to prosecutorial misconduct. Yeah. And so there's not much that you can really decipher from it because a lot of the documents have been sealed. Now, the things that weren't sealed in it are very disturbing. And, if you want to go read them, you can find them. They're out there. But, it's not something that we can really, I think it's indicative of, yes, is there a character issue here? Maybe we can tell something from that. But I also don't think that it has anything to do with the case at hand.
Yeah.
And we'll never really get to the truth on it, so it's not worth spending a whole lot of time on. But I think it's interesting that he's bringing it up and also minimizing it, that it just happened 30 years ago, so it doesn't mean anything.
I'm sure it's a sore area for him to talk about. Like, for sure it is,
Oh, for sure. And no matter what happened there 30 years ago doesn't change, though, that something bad happened 30 years ago. Just because it happened 30 years ago doesn't make it irrelevant, doesn't make it false. But that's something I've never really brought up and we don't talk about because it's not relevant to this case.
Exactly. Yes. Agreed with that.
And also I don't think that digging into like David's past, unless it has relation to other cases he's been involved in and how he behaves in other cases where he's representing someone, I really don't think that that's relevant either. Like anything in his background. I'm frankly shocked that he has brought up so much stuff about his past as far as like his false paternity finding or whatever the hell. Like none of that had anything to do with anything. And he's the one who keeps bringing up personal stuff about himself. So that's weird. He says, I admit I'm wrong all the time. Do you though, David? Do you? Owning our mistakes is one of the best things a person can do. It's a sign of character. Only a true charlatan claims they are perfect. I am deeply imperfect, but admitting that frees me to grow. It's a blessing. I agree with this. Nobody's perfect. Everybody is lying if they're saying they are, but I don't know who's saying they're perfect. But whatever.
He must have watched my video. I specifically called him a charlatan on Friday.
Oh, maybe. Oh, you mean the content he says he doesn't watch?
Yeah.
That content?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Now, this one really bothered me. It bothered me a bit. Although I know it doesn't bother Lauren, and so I shouldn't be bothered by it. But I just thought it was unnecessary and mean. He posted Lauren's block on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then he said, skin so thin you can almost see through this person. Well, almost. Yeah, we get your fat joke, David, and it's not really funny, but okay. Ironic how those who throw the most shade always fear the light. At least I know what my Halloween costume is going to be. Now, Lauren has gone on the record to say, I absolutely agree to this Halloween thing. If you want to dress up as me for Halloween, I will dress up as you. It'll be hilarious. Let's do it. And I think Lauren has such a great attitude about this.
She's awesome. I love Lauren.
She, Lauren really knows how to take a joke, and she is the first one to joke about herself. And I love that about her, man. I love that about her because I feel the same way. I like laughing at myself. And, if David's going to take the low blow and like try to go after Lauren for like the way she looks or whatever, I knew that Lauren would turn it into something hilarious, which she has. And because she's a pro at this comedy thing, and you always got to lean in. So I'm sure she's not very offended, but I just thought, low blow, David. Lauren's been nothing but, she's been nothing but genuine. At least we can say Lauren is genuine to who she is and what she thinks. And she has a right to do so. She has a right to have her opinions. Lauren, by the way, blocked him over 5 months ago.
Yeah.
And he's pretending that this happened, it just recently happened. And it didn't. So
back in May or something like that.
Yeah.
Lauren is such a kind soul, man. She's like such a cool person.
Agreed.
Great perspective. Really like her.
I do too. And I feel like Lauren's done a lot of work on this case, and she's brought a lot to it. She's brought a lot of her unique perspective to it. And I love what she does over on her channel. So you guys should go and subscribe if you haven't already to Lauren Knighty's channel. She is fantastic. We love her. Also, make sure that you're subscribed to Dave Neal and The Tilted Lawyer. Make sure you go and subscribe to Omar's channel as well. Omar does some really great content. I love his Family Law After Dark segments. They're great. I also was watching, what was I watching on your channel the other day that I had not heard of this case, and it was like really interesting. I've now forgotten what it was, but you have a lot of great.
Soto?
Yes, maybe
Soto
it was
case.
Madeline Soto case. Yes, I had not really gotten into that case, but I started watching your coverage on it. I really enjoy Omar, and his voice is very hypnotic, so it's good to put on in the background.
Depends on who's listening, I guess.
Oh, God. Oh, David, we don't want to see your briefs. He says, as for my take, please wait until you read my appeal briefs. David, please keep your briefs to yourself. The issue here and the reason we will win has basically nothing to do with Laura being pregnant or not. It is the Mata's refusal to follow the rules. I care about the rules and everyone else should too. Well, he doesn't care about perjury so much, does he?
Yeah, the appeal's has nothing to do with that. It's specifically, well, it's just the Rule 26 stuff. It's stuff that we already know. Those are the issues. And it's a very simple issue it's not a simple issue, but the argument's going to stem around whether or not there was compliance with Rule 26 if the court found that Owens was given proper notice by Woodnick, which gave rise to the tribal issues. That's it. That's what it's going to be about.
Like, I can't even read through all of this. It's so much. Like, oh, God, David, who cares? Why are you arguing with randos on Twitter? Why are you doing this?
Honestly, like, if he took a different approach to it, like if he had like a YouTube channel or something and was just like openly like spouting off his thoughts, maybe that would be better and help him to not like just go so off the cuff with these social media. That's like the worst thing you could do. I don't know how much you read your YouTube comments. I try not to read all of mine because I'll lose my mind, but I feel like so much healthier when I don't. You know, because there's going to be like 90% that are positive and 10% that are bad, and the ones you're going to remember is the bad ones, and it's going to affect your mental psyche. It's just better to leave it alone.
So this is interesting. He says JFC fam, and I don't think he's really earned the right to call anybody in JFC fam, but okay. I'm hosting a number of guests this weekend, so I'll be mostly offline. Sure. But since several people have asked, yes, Laura and I are still doing some sort of podcast stream video as soon as its schedules allow. Until then, some light viewing where he attaches this very old interview that Laura did with her mom on this podcast. Now, I've watched this. It is really, I watched it a while ago. It's really difficult to get through. It's extremely boring. I don't know what he's trying to...
I tried to watch it for like 30 seconds. I couldn't. I was like, you know what?
It's so boring. It's so boring. I don't know what he's trying to say by posting this. There is nothing in here that's worth that tells you anything other than the fact that she's on a lot of medication. She talks about her not antipsychotic, but antidepressants, etc., trying all different medications and them not working for her. So that's an admission that she's under some kind of mental health care and there's problems there, you know. Yeah. And somebody tries to tell him, stop posting personal information without their permission. First, there was Laura's first victim, then Judge Mata's sister, and now Omar. I have the screenshot of it. I'm not going to put it up because it has your personal info on it. But he posted your cell phone number. He posted it's just, I don't know what's wrong with him. And he says, I'm happy to redact whatever needs to be private, but I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know what's private unless asked. You don't know somebody's cell phone number shouldn't be posted on Twitter without their permission, you big giant asshole? Really?
Well, yeah, that was kind of, he told me because somebody told me that. He posted my cell phone number, and I reached out and said, hey, you mind taking down my cell? You could leave up all the other stuff. Just why you posting my personal? It's like, well, you didn't tell me to keep it private. It's like, most people that give me their private information, I don't just assume that I could share it with folks.
You know without damn asking. Well you're not supposed to share people's phone numbers online. Like, are you crazy, David? That's absurd. And he says, and keep in mind, JFC has viciously and ruthlessly invaded Laura's privacy beyond all bounds of decency. It's hard to have a lot of sympathy, you know? How has her privacy, when JFC on the Reddit page and everywhere else has redacted even her name from things, redacted all identifying information as far as her address, her phone number. Like, you can't even post stuff on Reddit if that stuff hasn't been redacted. So they've been over the top concerned with redacting personal information.
Well, most of the stuff on Owens that's out there was put out there by her.
By her. She's the one posting her own phone number, her address, her email address. It's all on her website.
I started off calling her Jane Doe because I thought that, to the extent that this is still anonymous, and again, knowing nothing about the case. But then, they put all their stuff out. So I guess it's okay if they're putting it out there.
I think we've reached the end of his rantings on Twitter. So I think we're done with that. But my Lord. Okay, so what's your takeaway from your most recent conversations with David Gingras? Do you think that he and his client will be making an appearance on your show?
I don't want to say, well, I suspect no, but the door's not been closed to it. I had a nice conversation with Dave this morning. I would characterize it as even friendly. Like we got like, okay, so you got your shot out of the way. I got my shot out of the way. You know, want to talk like men or what? And then we had this really good conversation for an hour. We were talking about academic stuff. Like I said, about the Rule 26 stuff. We didn't get into a whole lot because Dave's a talker and he's like a mile a minute, man. He's a lot like you in that regard. Like when you get started, you keep going. It's like, all right, yeah. I'm just going to let her finish.
Just wait till she finishes.
Yeah, Gingras is the same way. So we didn't, but I can tell you that I believe that he genuinely believes what he believes. And I think that he knows in his heart of hearts that the way that he communicates is not helping him. And so what your takeaway from that is he doesn't like claim to be a saint. He says that he's like this guy that, you know, didn't have his head screwed on straight at the beginning and he's overcome some things. And that's a good thing. I feel like a lot of people are that way. I was like that. I think if people were to hear him speak as opposed to like reading his tweets, they would have a much better perspective of him. My only goal in speaking with him is to understand. I just need to understand intellectually why you believe the things that you do. I don't expect that Laura would jump on a podcast if she did. I would do the same and try to look what I said in that initial email is the way that I would do it. I just want to hear your side. I have the right to ask questions. I will really try to understand your side. It doesn't have to be like this confrontational thing. And do the thing that he said he wanted to do, which is to debate, because that's the best way to get to the truth. I was like, all right, cool. Because I have some serious questions, as do a lot of people, as to why you feel the way that you do. But if to the extent, look, it's your position. So let me hear your side. I think, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I'm 50-50. It could go either way. I could tell you this, if it's going to happen like on his show with all these other crazy rules and I can't ask questions, I'm not going to do it. For what? But if it's under like the context through which I presented, which is, look, I will give you these 5 topic areas and I will ask you questions from your responses, sort of like a cross exam, then I'm open to doing that. I know that there's some people that are concerned that I'm giving Laura a platform to publish further lies, but my questions are really not so much for her as they are for David in the way that he has conducted himself in this case. And so I guess we'll see. I think that, David is human and he's made a lot of mistakes, but he's genuine, I feel like, in his beliefs, even if they're unartfully stated. And so if he takes me up on that offer, or anybody in that offer, doesn't have to be me, and wants to tell his side, I think that there is some good that could come from it. More realistically, I think it's probably going to be that him and Laura does by themselves. He wants to have somebody who he calls a JFC rep to try to give the illusion that like every side is represented. But, if it's not somebody that's like yourself or Dave or somebody that's been involved from the very beginning, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
what that even means.
Think if you just find somebody to claim they're a JFC rep that nobody's ever heard of and we don't know them, that's not going to accomplish anything with anybody following this case, because no one's going to trust where this came from. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree with you there. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. I am going to let you go, Omar. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. I appreciate that. What do you got coming up that people can tune into? Well,
we're going to be doing I got a bunch of bonus stuff coming up this week, like a poker night and stuff like that. But on Friday, I think we're going to be resuming our coverage on the Madeline Soto case and talk about some of that, but also Sarah Boone. I got some stuff coming out with her because she just did a suppression hearing and her attorney really just kind of shit the bed. I don't know if there's a better way to put it, but he didn't have a very good day in court. And I wanted to critique it because he kept on getting objected to. The judge doesn't really seem to like him. He's attorney number 9. And, I had a better impression of him to begin, but in practice, it doesn't seem like he's the right guy for this. But, we'll see. At least she has an attorney. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. Other than that, Vlad, of course, on Fridays. And which, of course, you're always welcome to join. You have like an open invitation. Whenever you got something you want to say, just come on in. I will get you in there and let you have the forum.
Well, cool. I think we should plan a mock trial, frankly. The way to give it the time it should have gotten for everybody to answer their questions. Maybe you should ask Gingras if he would participate.
I totally would. He definitely would not. But I would ask him if he would.
Well, it's worth a shot.
We'll see. I'll ask him about it. Why not? We'll see.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming by, Omar. I appreciate you.
All right, Megan. You have a good one, okay?
You too. Take care. All right, guys. I got to get to the super chats, and then I'm going to get out of here. I think I'm going to do afterwards. We're going to go to locals and do a locals only and maybe a YouTube members only stream where I am going to practice my truck driving for the stream that I'm going to try and do soon with Tug and Flux and whoever wants to come and ride along in a truck with me. And it's going to be hilarious, but I want to do some practicing, and it's going to be funny. So if you're not a member over at meganfox.locals.com, you probably want to be. Patricia Cerny, thanks for the 10. Love all your content. Well, I appreciate you, and I love all the people here, so thank you for being here. And who else? Let's see. We got SF, thanks for the 2. Been pregnant for 20 years if large belly is a test. Exactly. King Bob, thanks for the 2. Plastic surgery fund. Appreciate that. Katie P, thanks for the squiggly money. Love the stream. Yeah, my dad asked me if I was pregnant once, went to the doctor, and turned out I'm gluten intolerant. It happens. ILES, thanks for the 2. Just eaten a Subway, and it's made me pregnant. That it's been known to happen. Angel in Australia, member for 11 months. It's almost our 1-year anniversary, Megan, and I'm pregnant. If I don't hear from you, I'm keeping the babies. All the best. See, now I don't know whether to believe you people or not. Are you pregnant? If you are, congratulations. If not, LOL. Okay. All right. So we are going to head over to locals.com, meganfox.locals.com, so I can practice my American truck driving simulator. And it is hilarious. Flux, if you're not doing anything, you should come join me. Are you still working? Aren't you done in like a half an hour? Flux, aren't you done in like a half an hour? Can you want to come drive with me for a little bit? It'll be hysterical. I'm sending you a link once I get it set up. In fact, let me do that. I'm actually making a thumbnail for it right now. You want to see my thumbnail? It's hysterical. Watch. Here we go. I'm making a thumbnail. See, I put Tug in the passenger seat there. I got to put myself in the driver's seat, but I was looking for a funny expression on my face. I'm looking for one of my uploads with a funny expression. Without a microphone, preferably. Let's see. Oh, I know the one. If you haven't driven with me, this truck simulation thing is so freaking hard, you guys. It is hysterical. I think I almost gave Flux a heart attack when she was helping me set it up. And I think I almost gave her a heart attack with my bad driving. It's good times. All right, here it is. Here's the one I want to use. That's a funny face, but I have to cut my sister out of it. All right, let's see. Perfect. Perfect. We're going to make that small in and maybe move it. What do we want to do? We want to flip it horizontally. There. What the hell? Why did that make my face look so weird? Let's see. Now, I like this way better. All right, there. Let's a little smaller and small in. There we go. MG Law says, I've ridden with Megan. It's scary as hell. You want to come ride along with me on locals? I'm trying to do this thumbnail. All right, now we need text. We need text. Driving with Megan. Members only. Oh, God. All right, we got to get a different color here because we can't see this. Let's do red. And now we got to get some effects. Maybe an outline. How about black? There we go. What do you think? Aussie says we'll need a bucket. Like, don't laugh, but the first time I played this, I made myself sick. I had to go lay down because I was motion sickness. The chat should get complimentary barf bags. Oh, God. Okay, Tug needs to be thinking something, though. He needs to be thinking something. Let's see. I need elements. We need a thought bubble. Let's see. Here we go. Let's flip that around. And then we got to add text. What should Tug be thinking? Help? Should he be thinking help? Add text box. Let's make it in small in, and then move it. Of course, Tug's not actually going to be with me. Is this false advertising? But all right, there we go. Now I got to download that and set up a stream. File download. ENG. Current page. Download. Tug is praying as Meg drives through the valley of the shadow of death. I shall fear no evil. No, he does not know about this. He's not going to be there. It's false advertising that I put him in the, but I just had this idea for the thumbnail that would be hilarious with him in the passenger seat in that ridiculous cartoon of him. So funny. Why didn't that download? Download! If your download hasn't started, click here. Okay. Download there. Save. Yes. All right. Let's try that again. All right. Let's see if I can set this up now and redirect you guys over there. Live stream. Want to do locals and YouTube members only. American Truck Simulator is hard. Flux, are you going to join me? Let's make it for 4 p.m. so I have time to check on kids, get snacks, fill up my coffee, etc. So we're doing the practice run before the main stream, just to make sure it all works out. All right, there we go. That should be there, and now I can redirect you guys. It's fine. She'll see it later. What do I need to see later? Oh, check locals. Okay, I will. Hang on. All right, I got to redirect you guys. Redirect. All right. I have now redirected you to my members only stream. I will be changing it in just a minute to be members only. So if you're not a member of YouTube or of Locals, definitely do that now. It's going to be hilarious. And if I can get Flux to join me, it's going to be so funny. All right, you guys, let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Ellie Fant, thanks for the 2. Can we get breadstick money as an outro? Sure. And Pickled Tink became a new member. All right, welcome to the Fox Den. You're going to get to see me drive the truck simulator for the first time, which is going to be hilarious. Flux, you get home at 4? Well, the good news is I scheduled it for 4. So I'm expecting you to drop in at least for like part of a run. Okay. Oh, cool. Flux is going to be there. Awesome. All right, great. I'll send you an invite. All right, guys. I need to check my Cash App and stuff. Okay. Cash App. Cece sent 25. Thank you so much. Let me open up the app, though, because it won't let me read your message. The notifications for Cash App are such garbage. I hate them. All right. For Starcasm, hashtag buy a friend for Laura Owens and DG. Thank you so much. Did I read the other one? I think I did. Yeah, I did. I read the other one the other day. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, everybody. I will see you over on Locals or on Members Only at 4 o'clock. So be there. And in the meantime, I will leave you with what has been requested, which is breadstick money.
Yeah. Give me breadstick money, yeah. Yeah. Give me that breadstick money, honey. Breadstick money, yeah. Yeah. Unlimited supply coming at you on the fly. With that goopy super cash making them cry. We're taking all our honeys to Olive Garden, spreading breadstick money like fire in the oven. Give me that never-ending salad amount of strong meat. Can't get enough since it's raining only money. $1.99 times 100 fat stacks. Hanging on the mic, spitting mad facts, making jokers mad cause they never gotta laugh. Cracking people's sides, making liars take a bath. On the mic daily and nightly, holding it tightly, poking the mighty plane in our T-Go teeth. Register ringing, pocket saying subscribers' opinion, we just here screaming. Give me breadstick money, yeah. That goopy cash, honey, yeah. Give me breadstick money, yeah. That goopy cash, honey, yeah. We're the Pond Skunk Posse, swimming around, diving deep for the truth that's buried underground. Short, skinny jeans, latte in the blender. Swiping through the news, it's so fake, call it pretender. Reddit bros blowing journals out the water. Breaking big news like some Upper East Enders. No rolls, no Benz, no Lambo budget. £2 does it for the breadstick money, yeah. Give me that goopy cash, honey, yeah. Breadstick money, yeah. Give me that goopy cash, honey, yeah. Breadstick money, yeah. Yeah. Give me breadstick money, yeah. That goopy cash, honey, yeah. Give me breadstick money, yeah. That goopy cash, honey, yeah. We're the Pond Skunk Posse, swimming around, diving deep for the truth that's buried underground. Short, skinny jeans, latte in the blender. Swiping through the news, it's so fake, call it pretender. Reddit bros blowing journals out the water. Breaking big news like some Upper East Enders. No rolls, no Benz, no Lambo budget. £2 does it for the breadstick money, yeah.